And we're back here once again with another episode of the Cloud9 podcast, season 15, episode 13. So I hope you guys had a great day, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your week that is ahead of you. And in this episode of the Cloud9 podcast, we are going to be talking about FlyQuest winning the LTA 2025 North Split 2. Then we also had the conclusion of the spring splits for the major regions that will be competing at MSI 2025, and that is the conclusion of the LEC 2025 spring split. G2 Esports and MKOI will be representing Europe. Then we also have the conclusion of the LCK 2025 spring split, and just like a what's that saying, a tale as old as time, Gen G and T1 will once again represent Korea at MSI 2025. And then we also have a newcomer for the LPL. The LPL 2025 spring split is over. Anyone's Legend, who I used to call anyone's bitch, has finally actually improved as an organization. And you saw the improvement in them year in and year out to finally winning an LPL, title, actually. But let's be honest here, it's mostly off the back of them basically buying, debatably, arguably one of the best junglers of all time. He just didn't really have the, accolades to kind of show it and back it up if you're talking about that. So once they actually bought Tarzan, from, I think it was Weibo last year, Weibo got rid of Tarzan, even though I don't really ever thought he was actually their problem, actually. They got rid of Tarzan and they gave him to Anyone's Legend. And Anyone's Legend was like, all right, we'll just build around this guy. And they finally won a title, actually. This is their first one. They've been around for quite some time. Then we will also have BLG representing the LPL at MSI 2025 as well. Then we also have GAM and CFO. They'll be representing the PCS, LCP, actually. I keep calling it PCS. That was what it was called back in the day. The LCP. And then you also have the Furia organization that was actually a part of CB LOL for a very, very long time. They finally won a championship, and they'll be representing, LTA, I think it's called LTA South, right, at MSI 2025. So there are a few things that I want to actually talk to you guys about right now at the time of, doing the Cloud9 podcast episode that we're doing right now. So moving forward, the Cloud9 podcast is always going to have the main day be Thursday around 7:30, 8 p.m. PST. That is going to be the main day for the Cloud9 podcast. Then we will also have the second day for the Cloud9 podcast be Saturdays moving forward. So just like with MSI 2025 coming up, when there are games that are going to be happening on basically, Saturday, after I, get home from work and watch the games, we can, do the second episode of the week for the Cloud9 podcast. The reason why we took it off of Sundays, because basically Chaz goes to, play. Chaz is just busy. Mostly just plays like locals or playing Pokemon, whatever. And I'm just way too tired after work to actually do this show. So we thought, let's just move it to Saturday. Also on Saturday, I'm way less tired during that day, so we can also do the extra show, and it, won't be like that bad. We never actually ran it down on a show Sunday. Never did that. But I was like, you know what? This is the last Sunday I can really do the show. I got to move it to a different day. And Thursday and Saturday will be the primary day. Also, when moving forward, as you guys know, Warren came on a few episodes ago for the Cloud9 podcast. So when the LEC 2025 summer split begins, me and Warren will do a episode of the Cloud9 podcast just talking about the LEC games on Tuesday as well. So it's not to say that we can't talk about the LEC here. It's just the fact that, Warren follows the LEC a lot more closely than he does the LPL than he used to. So we can also have the episode with Warren that I have, and the episodes that I'm going to have with Warren more consistently will be during when the LEC 2025 summer split begins, and then any other LEC splits after that as well. So essentially, at the maximum, you could be getting 3 episodes of the Cloud9 podcast a week, but at the very minimum, you're at least going to get the main episode on Thursday. And joining me here in this episode of the Cloud9 podcast to talk about LoL Esports, NBA, NFL, him trying to have sex with Caitlin Clark, even though Sophie Cunningham looks better, in my opinion. But Mr. Blanks is back.
I'll take both.
He came back from vacation. This man took a vacation. Come on, I don't even pay this man to take vacations. You have to be here every day, week in and week out.
Nigga, fuck you. I'm gonna fuck
your
bitch,
salary. Nigga. That salary is fire.
What salary, nigga?
What salary? I paid you since 2022. 3 years.
You ain't never paid me, motherfucker.
$30 million in the contract.
Bullshit.
You ain't getting no wake. You don't get no weekends. Who said you can take a vacation? Did I approve that?
Me, motherfucker. Guess what? Keep fucking around. I'm gonna fuck your bitch. I'm gonna take your bitch right from you.
I give him a bunch of girls here to fucking hit on. I gave him 1776. I gave him Ash.
That is okay.
I gave him Miss Sparkles. Miss Sparkles love the black.
Miss Sparkles is the only one that actually worked. You gave me one girl who doesn't like younger dudes. You gave me another one that doesn't like black guy. That was over too.
To be fair, I did give you a lot of eye candy ones too, like Selena, eye candy. That darn
married,
eye candy. They are married, but there are eye candy though. You gotta admit
if they were single, it'd be a whole nother story.
If that darn kid was single, oh my god, I would try to taste her butthole or something.
I'm gonna shut the fuck up. I ain't gonna say that. If you know who was single,
man, good lord.
And she got a sister that's single as well.
Mm-hmm.
This nigga, man.
Crazy. But yes, Chaz came back from his vacation. How was your vacation? Technically, we were playing Pokemon, but I mean,
yeah, it was good.
Doesn't matter, I guess.
Could have done better.
Did you take a train there, or did you fly over?
I had to fly. It was too long.
But you said you don't like flying.
I don't, man. Thank God I wasn't in India.
Oof. But you said you were gonna take the train.
No, what the fuck? I said I was hoping to take the train, but not a train.
Yeah, you had mentioned on the show if you take this train at this time during this day when you pack up, you could get there, but you just flew over. Oh, okay. Damn, it sucks you can't go to MSI because they're having it in Vancouver. That's crazy.
I mean, technically I could. I just don't have the days for it.
Oh,
That's the thing. I gotta use all the days for Pokemon. What's up,
Emilio? What's up, buddy? How you doing, man? DK, what's up, brother? This man DK Black had 3 wives. I know them. Women were white. Don't even tell me DK they were black. I know them women were white or Mexican. You don't even gotta convince me. And I asked DK, anyone that's been married, I've always asked them ever since I had my original YouTube channel that may or may not have gotten retconned by YouTube, allegedly in Minecraft.
Deleted.
In Minecraft.
No, that shit got deleted in real life, nigga.
Every married person, dude, I always ask them, I was like, would you get married again? Because if we get divorced, they'd be like, no. DK, if you get divorced, I know your ass ain't getting married again. You're just done. I know you got 9 inches too, but good lord. So before we go and talk about everything, because there is so much to talk about. Good lord. Well, I'm not trying to be here for 2 hours, but the big episodes like these usually take 2 hours. We're trying to condense it down. Before we do anything, Konami, because I don't just get a chance to talk about Yu-Gi-Oh news recently, and Konami recently basically had this format called Time Wizard format, and a lot of people played Edison format. So if people don't know how this goes, basically, if you don't like how current X games meta is going, you can essentially play past X meta that is a fan favorite. And in Yu-Gi-Oh, past metas that are very famous that a lot of people like to play when the current metagame is they call stale, it's GOAT format and like Edison format.
Sometimes it's not stale, it's just trash.
That's true. And I'm not disagreeing with that. The big popular 2 of them are GOAT format and Edison format. And Konami had a ruling that basically went like this. To play in these formats, you have to use the updated card text. And if anyone's using their brain, you would realize how absolutely destructively bad that is. The reason why you cannot use updated text in those past formats is because those past formats had different rule sets, and there's this thing called priority back in GOAT format. That doesn't happen in Yu-Gi-Oh anymore. Technically, you can say priority is hand traps, if you want to get real technical about it.
Priority is kind of trash. That's why it was kind of good when you retcon that, but the issue is they fuck everything else up.
So like Goyo Guardian. We'll use Goyo Guardian for a second here. So Goyo Guardian originally was a generic synchro, level 6, and you could just grab a monster if it destroyed one out of your opponent's graveyard. Goyo Guardian got errata for whatever it's like one of the worst erratas ever in Yu-Gi-Oh history, where it requires a Earth Tuner monster. And it's like, well, you just killed the whole card, right? But you could also play Goyo Guardian in its original overpowered form in a pass format. Like if you were playing like Synchro, is it called the Billy Break deck? It was called Synchro Plants or some shit like that. Tengu Plants, something like that. It was like the Synchro deck that popped off. It was like the original, you could say like make a board deck, back in the day. But what I noticed is that everyone made such a big fuss about it. Konami actually, from what I heard, is going to reverse the rule. But it's like, I told people this many years ago when I had a channel that may or may not have gotten retconned in Minecraft, allegedly, said by a guy named Master Swag King Top G Rizmaster on YouTube. If you actually tell them and enough people do it, they would change. Keep in mind, guys, these games, there's not like another generation coming up in a lot of these games. Yu-Gi-Oh! Specifically does not have that. Pokemon has that. There's going to be always a little Tommy, a little Janae, or a little Shabubu, or a little Shaniqua.
Ain't no little Janae playing Pokemon, man.
I forgot they can't afford it. They're always on EBT and food stamps and shit. They can't afford Pokemon cards. But like, if we're looking at it, I've always told people this. Konami, I'm not saying Konami should have never always been the knee because, come on, like fan bases can't be wrong with how certain narratives are set up. But this is one of the ones where I have to agree with people. That's really fucking stupid. Like, that would essentially cut off a lot of people that are still kind of playing the game. And keep in mind, if there's ever a current format that they want to come back and play, they would want to go play that. But if you basically say, hey, this is cut off, you're not allowed to do this anymore. That means you just cut off any players that might have had a pipeline into actually wanting to continue to play Yu-Gi-Oh! It's like, who are making the decisions at Konami? The reason why Konami doesn't like Time Wizard format, they're probably regretting it now, is because they cannot make money off past cards. Because anytime they reprint cards like that, they have to reprint them with the updated card text to them.
Plus, he was kind of forced into it because don't forget, Time Wizard format was originally player
it had their own ban. I remember back when it first was announced, it had its own ban list or whatever. That didn't really pan out. Or that different format. That must have been a different format, I think.
No, that was Speed Duels. But
Speed Duels.
That
one didn't pan it out.
Don't forget, Time Wizard followed whatever ban list was out at that time.
At that time.
That's mean like Edison was March 2010. I remember playing Edison.
Jesus Christ.
I remember GOAT format 05. I remember that. Like that's why the whole thing with priority sucked in, and it sucks, and it was good when it got changed. But the issue is when Time Wizard is supposed to take you back to the time with everything not changed. When you're saying you're doing errata, Goyo Guardian is Edison in a sense. Goyo Guardian was so busted.
And Goyo Guardian at one point was banned because it was really strong in a much more slower Yu-Gi-Oh game.
Brionac.
Oh God, that errata was that card on errata back in the day.
Goyo Guardian errata was much worse. Because I
think the one that really, really went from like 0 to 100 and 100 back to 0 was Dark Strike Fighter's errata. Because Dark Strike Fighter was insanely broken.
But the thing is, Dark Strike Fighter wasn't as used in a lot of decks.
That card you might as well have just named that card fucking OTK.
That one, that errata didn't hurt as much because I think it was Blackwing, the one of the deck mainly played it.
Yeah.
The Colossal Fighter errata was kind of mid, but Goyo Guardian errata, that if you make a play with that errata, you're pretty much not playing the card at all. There's two Earth Tuners at that time. They were both garbage. You can't play them any deck without having to compromise your deck, and now it doesn't even feel like you're playing Edison anymore.
Like it's almost as if like they don't even understand their own like player base anymore. And then
but the issue is this wasn't their idea. Don't forget, Ultimate Time where they came because we were going to tournaments, and I say I was part of it too.
I would say there were the ones where like they were unsanctioned by Konami, right?
Yes, but but we were allowed to play like it was side event, and then eventually it was like, but a lot of these judges didn't know how to fucking rule it because they didn't ask.
A lot of them weren't even playing back then, too. You know.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Like for what I also understand when it comes to like GOAT format, Konami doesn't really want locals to like have a sanctioned event with goats and everything. And I don't know. People can correct me if I'm wrong here. wasn't the fact that I think they had put out in their ruling that like people that are under the OTS banner or whatever can't actually run the events. They're not finishing it. It's like
before you can, now you can.
What in the world? All those people that still want to play Yu-Gi-Oh, but they just want to play Yu-Gi-Oh in this confined time period, which is, I would always say technically you should be moving on with like games and adapting. But if that's how you still want to play Yu-Gi-Oh, sure, fine.
The issue is this: the reason why it's so hard to adapt because this doesn't feel like Yu-Gi-Oh. You play Yu-Gi-Oh, it doesn't feel like Yu-Gi-Oh. Mm-hmm. This ain't. You
remember K-Drill? K-Drill said he used to play Yu-Gi-Oh, played one game of Master Duel, and got his. He was like, "This is Blue Eyes. Oh, I heard this is a pretty good deck." He actually lost in about 20 seconds.
Yeah, because this ain't Yu-Gi-Oh anymore. There's no back and forth. It's just vomit hand. I vomit hand.
I've been calling it solitaire for years. It's been solitaire for a long time.
The issue is the speed is so goddamn fast. It's the old book. Edison was like they got those delusional players. No, Edison was a back and forth. You had minimal plays. Yu-Gi-Oh 2010 is what Pokemon is now. Like Pokemon, the reason why it's still loved because the game is fast. What people hate about Pokemon is they make cards that make you not play the game. Yu-Gi-Oh has boards that make you not play the game.
Well, Yu-Gi-Oh's power creep is weird because Yu-Gi-Oh's power creep is like one format. Things are kind of relatively slowy, back and forth, kind of. Then there's another format where it's literally like tier elements, where it's just like I make my board, you attempt to play against me. There's decks in Yu-Gi-Oh now. People don't remember Yu-Gi-Oh. Going second was always considered a disadvantage. There's people's decks in a lot of formats recently where they're just designed to go second. They don't even want to go first. They just want to go to counter your deck. How's that even playing Yu-Gi-Oh? Your deck is just supposed to just go play second and just beat everything I'm supposed to play.
Yeah,
like crazy. It's actually insane. But I was so surprised Konami had I was like, what would that even be for? Why are you cutting off this player base that still want to play the game? They just don't want to play the new stuff. But come on, Yu-Gi-Oh players are like retarded as hell. They don't get this. Konami, from a business point of view, can't really make money off of that stuff unless what you're talking about, which is like side events from YCS events, right? So from a money point of view, I can't make money off that shit. Why am I keeping it around? That's from a business point of view. But they're not thinking, hey, that player that's currently playing Edison format right now, maybe at one point they do come back in the current Yu-Gi-Oh! But you don't just cut them off because that means you're just going to lose that player entirely. What is wrong with them?
But the thing is, they can't get in new players because new players will look at it now. Why go play?
Yeah, so they can't get a new player. So like, you know what? Let's just axe the ones that are currently still kind of playing. It's like that's even worse idea.
This is why I think game low key Konami wants to kill Yu-Gi-Oh in the West because Yu-Gi-Oh's always supposed to thrive in the East. Think about it. There are card games that would never come over to the West because our desire for stuff is totally different.
Oh, for sure. Yep.
Like even Pokemon has its issues, like with the player base.
I think it's also appeal. Like Pokemon literally just appeals to every age group imaginable. Yu-Gi-Oh kind of really doesn't, or it hasn't tried to do it. It used to. Yeah. My thing with Yu-Gi-Oh was they do it now. They actually did one of my ideas that I really like now, which is Konami actually plays Yu-Gi-Oh on like YouTube channel, like their own YouTube channel. The one that's for the Yu-Gi-Oh anime does the anime 24/7. I said before, if you want to get Yu-Gi-Oh back into people like talking about it, you're gonna have to basically like modernize the way it's actually shown, because Yu-Gi-Oh guys at one point wasn't even on broadcast television. It was on one point at like Yu-Gi-Oh Vrains is on like Pluto TV, which you could say technically it's a streaming service that is kind of moving with the times. But a lot of people, when it comes to Yu-Gi-Oh, we watched it from the anime. Like I still argue to this day, 95% of people started playing this game because they watched the anime. They watched Yu-Gi-Oh Duel Monsters.
And that was a double-edged sword. It was good because you watched from the anime.
And the anime is supposed to be designed to do that. You play it, you watch the anime, and it goes like, I want to play the cards. Same like with a manga or an anime. You watch an anime, you want to read the manga.
It's a double, and now you start looking at it, it's a double-edged sword. It's good that you watch it from the anime, but it's also bad because now you tie the game into only being good with the anime. Think about it. So look at all the animes after. Like people say the best season of 5Ds is Synchros, but that was the last time people actually generally loved Yu-Gi-Oh. with 5Ds, and even then people were leaving.
Well, you also got to consider the fact, based on what you said, which I know is true, is was the like around age groups of people grow out of stuff as well. Like this is what a lot of hobbies for people that don't actually think about. It's like when you're growing up with something, it's a lot more easier to consume it. And then when you get older, you get priorities. Maybe you get a wife, you get some kids, you try to get your life together, you want to get your own shit together.
I would think that's a good argument, but then why are people still playing Pokemon? Like
that's true. That's true.
It came to a point where Yu-Gi-Oh just started getting too expensive. Like,
so are you saying that when people play Yu-Gi-Oh, they typically grow out of it quicker than Pokemon?
Yu-Gi-Oh doesn't have the attachment anymore. Like Yu-Gi-Oh had the attachment when the anime was like fun to watch. The anime has been fun to watch in my opinion.
Yeah,
to me, since Duel Monsters. But like 5Ds wasn't fun to watch, in my opinion. I didn't like synchros. I didn't like the whole 5Ds to me.
I feel like Yu-Gi-Oh! Zexal never got its praises. Yu-Gi-Oh! Zexal was actually very, very well done.
No, I like Zexal more than 5Ds. The issue is Zexal doesn't have any appeal. Just like Arc V is probably the worst. I
actually stopped watching it, Arc V. I watched 2 episodes and I was like, this is garbage. I'm out.
I like Reigns over Arc V.
I should have given Reigns more of a chance. It actually bounced back the way I thought Yu-Gi-Oh! Should have, but at the time I just had no time to.
It did, but the issue is the mechanic was too broken.
The other thing with Yu-Gi-Oh! That I mentioned was that now currently you can watch Yu-Gi-Oh! 24/7. I envy you guys. You guys can fucking watch that shit anytime you want to. Now, back in the day when I was a kid, you had to wait for that episode, commercials and everything.
Wait for it. If you missed it, you gotta hope you could.
Yeah,
it comes back on reruns.
Hell, you have to wake up Saturday mornings to watch the newest episodes. Nowadays, Konami does a 24/7 stream. Anime Vault, which I think is worse. Anime Vault does it from the very beginning all the way, but that's what I said Konami needs to do. You need to put Yu-Gi-Oh! In front of people again to get them interested. Now, is that helping or not? I don't know, but that's better than it just not having, just where it doesn't, like before it was just on Netflix. Like it being on Netflix is cool, but Netflix has so much content there. No one's going to Netflix surfing for Yu-Gi-Oh! Shit. You won't even see it recommended to you. Playing Yu-Gi-Oh! 24/7, showing people all the different eras of Yu-Gi-Oh! Is great. I think what Anime Vault's doing great, but I feel like, I don't know. I think someone had pointed this out a while ago. Yu-Gi-Oh! Needs, I wouldn't say not a reboot, something of a new anime that's like what Dragon Ball Daima did, where it kind of captures nostalgia but gives you a different adventure with the same characters. Like Dragon Ball Daima is after Majin Buu.
What it needs, it needs a 5D kind of thing where it needs a Duel Monster thing where it's a bunch of kids. Like
you can use the same characters, like with Yu-Gi-Oh! That there's this manga called Yu-Gi-Oh! R that kind of does what I'm saying. You need something like that, something that takes place. I would always say the 5Ds is the best written Yu-Gi-Oh! Show they've made, but I will also say Duel Monsters is what people really, really love. So if you want to use Duel Monsters, create another Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Monsters show, use the main trio, and get people in. That's what you would need to do. Yugi and Kaiba are the most popular characters in the whole franchise, bar none. It's not even close, really. You need to make something that gets people in. Once you can get them in, you can do whatever you want at that point. That's what they need to do. Because I feel like an anime is the only way to really get people in. Because are people really checking for Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards outside of like people that are playing Yu-Gi-Oh! You need to capture the casuals like they did back in the day. If you capture the casuals, you can get more people playing the game. Because some of them will want to play the game more competitively. But outside of that, quickly with the WNBA, Caitlin Clark was I'm gonna say attacked. She was dribbling.
No, attacked. No, she was attacked. That was attacked.
Allegedly.
She was getting attacked. Because it wasn't just her. It was the whole team.
So she was dribbling, and I forgot the player's name she was playing against on the other team.
It don't matter.
She was attacked when she was dribbling, and then she pushed the other girl. Then another girl, not the same girl that attacked her, knocked her down. Sophie Cunningham grabs the fucking bitch that attacked Caitlin Clark. The first one that poked her eye when she was dribbling.
On business.
Sophie
Cunningham played football in high school.
You know what happened after that? Sophie Cunningham's Indiana Fever jersey sold out. That's crazy. I know there's girls out there in the WNBA that see what other girls are doing to her, and I know they know what's wrong. We know that, but they're like too afraid to stand up. Sophie Cunningham stood up for her, and she's gonna get. I'm just saying, like I could always respect that. she's gonna get basically eternal
Low-key,
praise
Sophie
for that.
Cunningham.
Sophie Cunningham's, in my opinion, more attractive. I don't think Caitlin Clark's that attractive, honestly. I think Caitlin Clark's like a 5 out of 10.
Sophie was always
Cunningham
more
is
attractive,
pretty
but
fucking hot.
don't forget, she always kind of had like a girl crush on Caitlin. It was kind of like,
and that's Sophie Cunningham. Caitlin Clark is like the tomboy thing.
She's the girl next door. Like, have you ever been around a girl that you knew she was pretty, but you were a guy and she always hung out around with you. She was always one of the guys. You never looked at her pretty until one day she dressed up. It's the whole thing with Sabrina Ionescu back in the day. Sabrina Ionescu was just one of the boys, just wanted to play basketball. And one day she dressed up. The one dude that liked her in the group but didn't tell nobody, saw her, fell in love with her. That's what happened. It's the whole. Sophie Cunningham was like that at one point. She was the homie. Guys that look at her like that, and then one day she blossomed. You realize she got nice ass and tits, and then boom.
Sophie Cunningham is so hot. Oh my God.
I told you about that. I told you when she was on Phoenix.
I don't understand why. I mean, I'm not saying Caitlin Clark's ugly, but I'm saying like she doesn't. Her basketball play is great. Her personality makes up for it. I would say that.
That's what a lot of guys say when they want a person. Both guys want personality. They don't look
Except
at
most girls' personalities are terrible.
Dog shit. Like they don't look at.
And then girls will be like I know you heard this shit when they try to leave you and shit, like your ex-fiancés. I bet you they said this exact line because it always goes like this when girls want to leave dudes. You'll never meet a girl like me. The hell, a girl with bad attitude. All right, I'm pretty sure that's a dime a dozen.
I'm gonna tell you. First of all, there's a million girls like you with shit attitude. I'm telling you right now. There's a guy. Like every time a girl says that to a guy, the guy thinking there's one chick at his job he will love to fuck the shit out of. It's like if people don't understand, I'm telling you right now, women will actually have guys on the side the minute they break up. Men are fantasizing about the girls they want to fuck. Women are actually fucking the guys they want to fuck. Like, I
never understood that, man. The girls would be like, you'll never find another girl like me. Yeah, a girl that fucking has a horrible attitude.
I'm gonna tell you right now. I'm telling you right now. You go see that guy with the girl you don't want him with, because that's gonna be it's like when the black girl tells the black guy you never go meet someone like me. Next time he gets the white girl that's nice to him and rub his feet and suck his balls. I'm telling you right now. When there was a black girl who I knew who was dating this guy, I knew a little too much about their relationship. The minute they broke up, right, she was fucking some other nigga, right?
Of course.
Within a week.
She probably had this option when they were together anyway.
Oh no. He had this option. She had this option before she got in a relationship. That's how trust me. Like I said, the whole shit was fucked up. He took his time, right? There was this one girl he always liked, but she kind of like Sophie Cunningham in the face a little bit. Crazy enough. She was just shorter. She they ended up being friends. One time he invited me to his party with her, right? And then I ended up going with her little fat friend, little sick. She wasn't fat, but she was sick. Ended up he was fucking the girl by the end of the night. I ended up getting some head. This shit was good. But right. Yeah. And then eventually they ended up getting married. And then I knew he was gonna leave me for her. You left him. Yeah, who the fuck asked you? Like, bitch, I'm just trying to clear the goddamn thing. You left him for the nigga that knocked you up. And you mad because he got a white girl. The thing about it was he didn't even see it as a white girl. He just saw it as the girl that was the only girl that actually helped him through the breakup. And he helped her through her breakup was much worse. It was on some. Well, we might have to kill this motherfucker because it turned out she was getting abused physically. I was like, yo, give me the word. I'll put that motherfucker in. I'll dig a hole, put that motherfucker right in it. And the guy thought I was joking. I was dead ass. I was like, oh, you serious? You and the girl? Oh, hey, she got some good head. But I'm saying that motherfucker want to come around and do some bullshit. Oh, my girlfriend dating an N-word now. I'm like, yo, just give me the word. I'll make that motherfucker. But no, the whole thing is with Caitlin Clark, you don't look at her and be like, oh my God, she's fine. You know, it's the same thing as Paige Beckers before Paige voice. Paige used to sound like a woman, but her voice before her voice got
Because
massively deep.
that moment where Sophie Cunningham did that to that one girl to get revenge, which was good. I agree with her doing it. I never forget that moment where that one dude on that one basketball team went into the stands and started fighting people. I will never forget that moment.
Yeah.
Good Lord, that moment lives rent free in my head.
You gotta realize Sophie was doing this on the Phoenix Mercury. The thing is, she always wanted to play with someone who was dominant and good. Like I said, she had the girl crush on Sophie. It's not like a lesbian, I'm eat your pussy kind of crush.
Oh, damn.
Like,
Well, then,
it's more like, yeah, I want to be surprised. Hey, I want to be surprised. A lot of, I've always said every girl is bipolar and bisexual.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, but no, with Sophie's like if you look at her and Lexi Hall, look at those two girls back to back. Lexi Hall's like the good angel, and Sophie's like the devil in a sense. Like Lexi ain't gonna fight nobody. She's like the pretty Barbie, and Sophie's like the aggressive Barbie. She's like the, she gonna fight. It's like if you had the white girl who are two sides of the same thing. Lexi's the good girl, Sophie's the bad girl. So like, Sophie was the one that was out here popping in for the Phoenix Mercury owner. It was like, yeah, at the end of the day, she sees Caitlin Clark like a little sister. That's why you ain't gonna fuck with her and do all this bullshit. Plus, think about it. When Caitlin Clark got injured, the team had no identity because they don't know how to play without her. Now they're starting to figure it out, but it's like,
yeah. Also, not to mention when Caitlin Clark was away because she tore her hamstring or whatever, ratings dropped like 50%.
Yeah,
that's insane.
But also, don't forget I told you this. The Indiana Fever's coach now used to be the Connecticut Sun's coach. That's a 2-for-1.
Because I remember they got a different coach from last year's one.
Yeah, and that she used to be the Connecticut Sun coach. And who was the team they were getting into the tussle against? The Connecticut Sun. Yeah. It's a lot deeper than you think it is. It's not just Caitlin Clark. This is also the Connecticut Sun sending a message to Stephanie White. Mm-hmm. We were better without you, even though you got smoked. They didn't like how, you gotta realize, Stephanie White was praising Caitlin Clark while coaching the Connecticut Sun.
That's some double agent shit right there.
No, but no, you know why? Because she used to play like Caitlin Clark. She used to be in a small market like Caitlin Clark. Mm-hmm. The issue was she just wasn't as good. That's why she played I think she might have played a few years, went straight to coaching. Like she sees Caitlin Clark like what she wanted to be. And Caitlin Clark just needed a coach that believed in her. Christy Side didn't know what the fuck she was doing. That's why they had to get rid of her.
Yes. We're getting Game 7 because OKC just can't just
close out because OKC wanted to win in OKC. But if they lose to Indiana, I'm burn the NBA.
If OKC lose at home, that's gonna be so fucking crazy.
Burn the NBA. The NBA this finals is trash. Absolute trash.
Tyrese Halliburton should not be playing as good as he is right now. That's crazy.
They're giving this nigga too much shit, man. Fuck this trash ass nigga, man. Fuck the trash ass Pacers.
What did Tyrese Halliburton do to you, man?
Yeah, fuck the Pacers.
He took your girl. God damn, it's okay, man.
Looking like a little bitch ass nigga.
Why do you hate light skinned dudes? What they do to you,
nigga?
Man?
Fuck you too, nigga.
If I take your girl right now,
the NBA is garbage. It is garbage, man. Fuck Adam Silver, a little alien looking ass nigga.
Adam Silver is so stupid. This God, because he was on this he was on I forgot what show he was on or whatever. He was giving these comments about well, why don't, because I think the interviewers, whoever was on the podcast, asked him, hey, why aren't more people interested in the NBA finals like the Super Bowl? Because the Super Bowl, as he mentioned, it doesn't matter who's in the Super Bowl. Doesn't matter. Everyone's watching it.
Yes, Michael. Going to Game 7, the finals is trash. What up, Michael? Say something.
Good Lord. And then the other thing is that it's not felt that way for the NBA finals in a long time. Like, the NBA finals should be as hyped as the Super Bowl. I'm just saying.
No one gives a fuck about these two teams. Nobody gives a fuck about OKC. Who the fuck gives a fuck about a state named Oklahoma?
Like,
Ain't nobody
I'm
give
just
a
pointing
fuck about
out,
Indiana.
and keep in mind, these teams have been irrelevant. I mean, OKC, I mean,
No, OKC's been decent, but no one gives a fuck about these two
Indiana's been
markets.
irrelevant ever since what, year 2000, essentially?
No, the issue with Indiana, no one really likes Indiana. They just don't give a fuck about Indiana. They just look at it like, okay, cool. All right, cool.
That's why, I get what Charles Barkley was saying, but it's hard to actually talk about certain like orgs when they've really never like done anything,
Yeah.
Like, how in the world can you hype up OKC to people if you've never been interested in OKC ever, or they've never been actually like that good ever, Like Cleveland, you can hype up because they're like, oh, this is where LeBron used to be. But like, what else do you have outside that? And then Cleveland bombed out early on when their players got injured, So I think that's the problem too, is like these teams aren't like big and they don't have any really big names on there. And then that will also contribute to people like, not watching either. But I wish the NBA finals were as hyped as the Super Bowl. I wish, but NFL just kills the NBA in ratings now. And Adam Silver just runs the league like garbage, honestly. That All-Star shit, if we were talking about the NBA when that All-Star game went on, I'd fucking lose the whole channel. That is garbage. Should be ashamed of himself. Fucking alien-looking little maggot. Fucking hell. Good Lord.
Oh,
I love the way that other guy roasted LeBron too. But we won't go over that because James always, you roasted LeBron. Fuck off, James. I'll roast LeBron when I want to.
James be sucking LeBron nuts, man.
Overrated as hell. I'm like, hey, these 10 players are better than LeBron, but he can score. He's got 50,000 points. All right.
Michael, that was the last good era to me. After Lakers won.
That was actually the last really, really hyped era, was the whole Golden State Cleveland era. Yeah.
The last hype era was when Lakers won for Kobe. After that, the NBA kind of went to fuck, because they were stuck in the bubble kind of thing. You gotta realize after
that's what I've been saying too. Like, oh my, defense is so bad. I would have a stroke going over that. But
yeah, plus you got a bunch of foul baiting motherfuckers, man. Even the Knicks.
He does it too. No one wants to watch Shea play because all he does is foul bait like a fucking weirdo. He literally is disgusting. Now, he's he's a good shooter, but he is, oh my goodness, I could be here forever. But we do have to go over
uninteresting. It's uninteresting. That's the sad part.
Yeah. But we do have to go over the LCK. So to kind of bring you guys up to speed with what happened in the LCK before we actually get to this match and T1's other match against Hanwha Life, is that KT actually were terrible. They were really bad. They actually had a record so bad to the point where they had to win their last two best of threes to get into the group that they'll be in for this LCK 2025 summer split, which would be in the actual better group with actual competitive matches of them being in the shitter group. So what was also on the line was that them having a higher or lower place spot in the road to MSI, which is one of the stupidest things. And I can't wait to fucking burn this. Oh, I hate it. So KT had to beat Bro and they had to beat Hanwha Life. They actually beat Hanwha Life. They actually did. So that means that they could keep their season alive because they were actually almost out of the season if they actually lost both those best of threes. DK were also just getting on their knees, and Barrel was over here throat goating the whole league. His fat fucking shitty ass over here eating KFC 24 hours a day. It's just so unbelievably bad. Lucid, all hands, no brains. Siwoo is actually really not that bad, but he can't. On a team like that, he can't do anything. He can't do it. And they also have, aiming, he has to play with Barrel. I feel bad for him. Barrel's over here taking up the whole lane with his fat ass. So DK were just basically trashed the entire fucking time. Like, they've lost to Genji for 3 years straight. Actually, just lost to Genji 3 years straight. That's hilarious, too. So KT beats Hanwha Life and Bro. They get into the road to MSI. They actually beat DK, so that means that they get to be in the I think it's like whatever group fucking names they have for next split. Then they beat Nongshim. Nongshim's a fraud. That team is trash. Glad KT mopped them up. But then I told Chaz on Facebook before he had went on vacation before he was on the show last week, when KT are doing good, they're gonna lose. That's how it works. You don't have faith in KT.
Nigga, I told you that. You said, KT might beat T1. I said, no, T1 smoking on a KT pack, man. And then I told you, what was going to happen after.
I did say if KT are doing good, they're going to lose. I did say that.
Yeah.
And then then T1's last bet. So T1 had already kind of put themselves in a position where basically they had to beat whoever won out of the KT Nongshim match, and then pending on the Genji Hanwha Life results, they would have to beat that team. So T1 getting third place actually meant that they actually were in a better spot, relatively speaking. So they only would have to win 2 best-of-5s to qualify for MSI, and there's technically no finals, which we'll go over in just a minute here after I explain this to you guys. So T1, it's weird. They very shaky all regular season, but they did manage to finish third, which they did put themselves in a good position to be in. They faced KT. This is not a rivalry anymore. Can the broadcast stop calling this a rivalry? This is not a rivalry. T1 constantly beat them. This isn't right. The last time this was kind of maybe a rivalry was like 2023, and even then they lost every best-of-5 to them.
Yep.
Then one time KT chose them in the playoffs and they lost to them.
And at the time it made sense, because you think about it, this team looks weak. This team is broken. We can finally just take them out of their misery. But guess what? you forgot that Faker had some time off. Faker was in the hyperbolic time chamber training. You chose T1. Guess what? You chose death.
Like at this point, is T1 the main hero of League? Or do they have main character syndrome? They were not.
They lose at MSI. They lose to BLG, the big bad guys. You know, they lose at JDG MSI 2023. They come back and take you out in Worlds.
Yeah, like Faker. I will say this: people always kind of count him out when his team's not playing good. But I do have to. I know people gave Koma and the coaching staff a lot of shit for the Smash Guma UC thing, which I do understand taking him out when they did. If he's playing bad, I understand it. Like, but what's crazy about the coaching staffs they've had throughout the years was the fact that they've actually managed to get the team to be playoffs ready. Like, being bad in the regular season is one thing, but they're all like, every time it's happened, how many more times can they keep getting away with this? Doran was this big. Doran was this big. And this was his best fucking series he's ever had. This was better than the time that he beat Zeus in that Genji final in 2023 spring. Yeah. It was better than that Gragas performance he had against Zeus back before Fearless Draft was a thing. Doran's fucking cock went from micro penis to fucking BBC overnight. One could argue Doran. I would have never said this in my life. You could argue Doran carried Faker. You could actually make the argument after these 2 best-of-5s.
Yeah.
You could make the argument. If someone told me that Doran would have carried Faker in the Lord year 2025, I'd probably call you fucking insane. Doran actually carried the entire team. Now, it's not to say that Carrier didn't play well. Carrier actually played very, very well. Hello? Oh, you're good now. Yeah, you're good. I'll just edit that out later on. So, Carrier played very well. Gumayusi stepped up really hard. Owner's pretty much been the MVP next to Chovy, in my opinion, throughout most of the split anyway. So Owner playing good wasn't going to be a surprise to me. He's been playing well like the entire split anyway. And then you also had Doran. And Doran has arguably been sandbagging a lot of his fucking teams sometimes. But he did actually have a really, really good series this time around. And we did say this for T1 going into this year when they got Doran. Doran actually always seems to play very well against Zeus, despite Zeus being considered like the much more better player and the much more dynamic player.
That's why I said back in the day that Doran was overall, I think Doran overall better.
Would you talk up to like confidence issues? He might honestly he might be a player where if he doesn't feel like he can do it, he doesn't do it very well. But it might be just that. I still wouldn't say that he's better than Zeus overall, but you can say that he can be very clutch for T1. If he actually plays like this in big series, they can actually win with this guy. If he plays like this in big series, you can win with him. If he doesn't play like this in big series, well, good old Doran. But in this game, because game one, you could argue that they could have won game 1. KT actually managed to win game 1. Game 1 was very, very back and forth. Game 2, T1 stomped them, and then game 3 is at the point where it's like, okay, kind of looks like T1 maybe have actually bounced back. This was the game where Doran was taking Krugs. Doran took Krugs, killed himself, and then walked up blind and stole an Otacon buff. Then Carrier went up and smited and stole a Baron. So Doran and Carrier are better junglers than Cuz. Once I saw them,
told you that. I could have been told you that.
What a wild person Doran is. He got himself killed by Krugs, level 3, and then just walked up and stole a buff.
Hell yeah.
I just don't get it. He had an absolutely amazing week for himself, which is good. They gave him finals MVP. Well, it's where they gave him finals MVP. That's really weird. There wasn't actually a finals, but sure, they gave him finals MVP. He had, you know how like they showed like the player cams and they make do like the fucking gestures. He did this movement against KT. I was like, he just brushed KT off. He was like, KT ain't shit. They're nothing. Because KT himself, like, I would argue that KT isn't a good team at all. The only thing that makes KT even relevant is BDD. And even BDD, in one of the games that he had against T1, it was the only game he won was the one he was playing with Ari. And even, so, like, if BDD's not in a commanding position to lead them, they just don't do anything. Like, you can't win with Duck Dom. You can't win with Duck Dom at all. He's bad. Peter's about as fat as Delight. Peter is like fucking hell. Diet Coke Delight. Cuz hasn't really been good in a very long time. He's been fucking mid.
Perfect one and perfect.
I could have told you that. Why is his name Perfect? Why is his name Perfect?
When he's far from that.
Yeah, some of these players' names is just ridiculous. So it gets to a point where I think it's this one here. So KT are taking Otacon. Okay. I would imagine they know
this
he's here.
Look how far he let it get down to.
Also,
13.
Go on the LCK Twitter account. I think I clipped this. He does this blind. There is no vision to do this. This is blind. Walked in, took it, flashed out.
At 399.
I watched that live. Oh, that might be one of the craziest things I've seen in a long time. He walked in blind and did that. Figure's looking like shit. I didn't know you could play this well. Where's this guy been at? Just what the hell? What had gotten into this man?
Yeah.
What got him to play this well? Like, I want people to see what KT were definitely tilted after that. Definitely tilted. The top player walked in. He used his tactical sweep and he flashed out and stole it. Then Cuz was like, hey, I'll just go take my jungle camps at 21 minutes and get killed. Good job, Cuz. They're taking Otacon. I don't know why they don't have vision right there when they are taking this. Flies in, E's onto it, Q's, flashes out. This just basically walked up and stole their bitch. He basically told KT, this your girl, no, it's my girl now. Then KT are like, okay, the definition of insanity is trying it again, and let's just take Baron this time around. So Gumi, you see, spots them out with his ult, and then they do end up killing off BDD first. BDD gets caught out. So BDD's already dead. He's caught out. And then Carrigan steals the Baron.
Yeah.
Oh, back-to-back objective steals.
And then the whole team just gets murdered.
Oh no!
And we're perfect perfect on the other side doing nothing.
Look at
the score. See, this is what KT needed. Look at the score right now. 9-11. KT needed to call 911.
I do want to show you guys one of the scoreboards. It was in game before we get back to this game. And we're going back.
I need to show you guys game 2. 911 because they were getting murdered.
Was game
2?
Yeah, game 2. I want you guys to look at these score lines in game 2 toward the end of the game. These score lines were a perfect pun intended. These were a perfect representation of fucking KT season. Look at those score lines. 0-5, 0-3, 0-6. Bot lane went 0-10.
Yo, Guma used to use 8-0 on Jin. This motherfucker with the American sniper.
He just loves Jin. He's always gonna.
And why the fuck are y'all letting Dora get Gwen?
That's the only champion he looked good on. All split was Gwen. It's the only champion he ever looked good on in the regular season. Popped off so hard on Gwen. Look at these score lines. They were getting actually fisted. Doran saw perfect. He's caught out. Rumbles out. Because the problem with this comp was that BDD got a lot of kills, but if this comp falls behind with Rumble and Alistar, he can't do anything.
Yeah, so, and every time we turn around, Deckdown was dead.
Was he ever counted as? Did you ever count him as a player? Who counted Ductum as a human being?
That motherfucker couldn't get no good ADC.
Good Lord.
Shit. Don't.
So
Okay, go back to game one. Which
one.
ADC? Which ADC did Dekdon win on? Okay, he won with Kalista.
But that's a really, I don't know, that's a really good draft from KT.
No,
I think the draft makes up for that game.
But I'm not gonna like T1's draft is kind of shit.
I didn't like their draft, but this game was close though.
Yeah.
Because the problem here is I don't like I mean, even when Elise support was meta, I didn't like it because it falls off.
But the issue is they gave Wukong that kind of neutralized.
And that neutralizes Elise. I didn't actually like the only thing about T1's draft I don't like is this game is just Elise. I think that otherwise the draft is fine. And even this game was close. So after Keria steals Baron, they have one more team fight. I think they have one more team fight after that. Oh, it's the one where KT like kind of makes it close, but doesn't matter because Gumayusi actually played Ziggs very well. Like Faker is zoning out BDD, and then Gumayusi is still alive. Then the three of them get away. Faker's like, okay, I still have a stun card. Faker Zhonya's. Okay, so he doesn't die. And Gumayusi is able to save him. He's stun carded and he dies.
That BDD just stayed getting murdered, man.
God. He played Ziggs. Imagine that. APA is a mid laner whose main is Ziggs, and Gumayusi played Ziggs pretty well. He played Ziggs very well in this game. Like, the way he maneuvered, every single skill shot and everything. And that's the reason why I wanted to see him bench originally for Smash, because he wasn't playing good. I like to see Gumayusi like that, where he's playing on the edge, he's able to get all the spells out. That's the Gumayusi I like seeing. Not that horrible
the issue benching him, then it actually made the team worse, because like the issue with Smash was
he wasn't smashing.
No, you play him in the winter time. Like, all right, cool. That's when you should have played him. It's like you try to play him in the spring, it didn't really work. It was like
he mentally blew out his brains because team was losing. But it's nice. T1 ended up coming back against KT. We're like, oh, is T1 black? Get it? T1 black. Is T1 back now? Because that's against KT. People are like, okay, that's against KT. KT's not good.
Look at the damage. Look at the damage. Like, God damn.
Gumayusi did more damage than every single person on their team.
It's funny how KT got the Void than the Arrow that didn't fucking matter. They got Otacons, we got the Baron, they got the Drakes. It was that Gwen. Oh my god, that Gwen game.
Like, you got player of the match. Like, Doran played very well. If you told people that Doran was the carried Faker in these two best of fives, you'd be crazy. I want to show you guys something really quickly. Is it LCK? I think it's LCK Global. I think it is. I think it's the one where it does the yeah, it's the one you're doing it. It's the English dub one. Live against KT. Watching this shit live was incredible. I used to watch Sex in the City. Don't judge me. I don't know why. That was a fucking loser. I think it was this part right here where he won after Doran had after Doran basically walked up and stole their lunch from KT. Right. I think it's about. I think it's somewhere right here. Walked up, stole their lunch, and this was the reactions out of T1. They definitely K-popified these people. People gotta understand, this is what NA lacks in a lot of their teams. The people that like T1 and Genji and Hanwha and KT, they like love them. They like actually love them. The fan passion in Korea is definitely pretty huge. I will give you that. And why do they get all the pretty girls? Our girls are fucking pink-haired, fat, and ugly most of the time. BDD's realizing, hey, my team just ain't shit constantly. God. So maybe it's right here.
Okay, go back to the actual end of the game, and then just play it from there.
Yeah. Okay. So this team fighting was it was so good out of them to wrap it up. That was and this is the thing. This is KT's last ditch effort to save their season. But what do you think about KT? Because their season's over until summer. Do you think they can do anything to salvage it for summer to make a shot at going to Worlds? I'm trying
to see right now. Whoever wins MSI, and I think it's going to be an LCK team.
Because if the LCK wins, they get 4 seeds, right?
Yes. They get +3 because they get the guaranteed automatic LTK team into Worlds. That's me.
Yeah.
Yeah, they get +3. It's +3 because you count the one that's already gone to Worlds. And
Yeah.
then it's 3 more, and it's like, all right, cool. The question is I'm gonna say it's gonna be Hanwha and T1 that's going to Worlds. Who's the fourth team? Namshim, KT, or DK. It's one of those 3.
I mean, that might be one of the weakest Korean seeds they'll send. That's going to be the 4th seed.
I'm gonna say
I just don't think KT gets better from right now.
I'm gonna say if you want it competitively, you go KT. DK, I don't know what the fuck's up with DK right now. DK,
they should debatably burn their org to the ground. Burn that shit to the fucking actual
DK, I've never seen a team look so good in one split and they just look like absolute shit the next. Like even now,
like DK went from like being like one of the best teams in winter to looking like literal. What is this?
Yep.
Like team fighting was bad, objective control was bad, laning was bad. Like I don't know what happened. I literally like, and Showmaker was like, you know what? I'm here for life, and it's like I don't know if you want to maybe retract that because I just don't get. I don't get how he wants to still be here. Like they gave him Barrel guys should have just retired after 2022 after he won Worlds. He should have retired then. He should have just gave it up. Like, and the thing with KT is like BDD, like I'm surprised KT are so lucky. They're so bad. They shouldn't even have fans. Fucking hell. Bitch, you're gonna be crying more tears next split. They ain't winning anything. KT hasn't won in years. Last time KT won a title was 2018 summer. We're at 2025 now. That's the vitality effect. They ain't won shit in 7 years. They ain't won shit in 7 years. Look at Doran. Look at that motherfucker. Look at this. Look at this player cam right here. Easy. He's like, I ain't even sweating. I ain't even sweating it. What? He just walked up, stole their Otacon buff.
Doran might be black and owner laughing his ass off. Owner said like,
someone needs to clip that. That man just said KT ain't shit. Get the fuck out of my face.
Easy work, man. Easy work. Faker just
Faker
like
just has the one. Here's the thumbs up. Usually, Guma, you see this? What is this man always doing? This
man usually got that goofy ass smile, like he.
What is that? What is that?
That's the K-pop shit, man. That's the K-pop shit. And it carries the adorable little like.
Damn.
What am I doing?
Good lord. Oh my god.
Guma uses the slick older brother and carries like the adorable, like, oh my god, like he's so cute. Oh my god, there's women that was like, oh my god. It's like I want to just pinch him. I was like, yo, y'all some freaks. I would pinch him. The fuck you mean?
Call the cops. Call the cops, call the FBI, call them all. But then
call the Korean police, call the Korean equivalent of the FBI. Them motherfuckers want to kidnap Carrier. I was like, they want to. Oh my
also, I will also point this out for T1. A lot of times that T1 has done very, very well. I've always pointed this out. If they did not have Carrier, their team results and org would look a lot different.
Oh no! It'd be much worse. That's a fact.
Carrier is playing. He's so well. He played so well. Like, damn. So we're gonna have to do. Come on. Oh my god. I'm trying to get my fucking wife to lick my balls later.
Oh, you wild. I can't believe you said that on live.
What do you mean? Oh, I'm joking. Jokes. So
bullshit.
After that, we need to go and talk about the T1 versus Hanwha Life series.
Only 2 people had picked them to win. I said T1's 3-2.
I meant I had Hanwha Life winning after they had lost to Hanwha Life and that disgusting best of 3. I was like, there's no way.
I said T1 3-2. I'm like, and then I woke up one day and I remember what day did they play? Friday or Saturday?
They played. Yeah, they played. I know they played Saturday.
I don't remember which day because I was playing Pokemon. The thing is, I woke up and I saw all games, and then I went back one, and then it says 3 games. I'm like, oh fuck, T1 got swept.
So this is a series that I definitely wanted to talk about all week after seeing it. So
I thought T1 got swept. I was like, oh god, no. Please tell me T1 they get 3-0. And then I saw the game. I was like, oh, what the fuck?
So
what?
To talk about Hanwha Life, we must talk about their series against Gen G. So against Gen G, they went up 2-0. Keep in mind, same thing with the T1 and KT game 1. That game 1 versus Hanwha Life versus Gen G was really, really good. It could have literally went either way, honestly. But Hanwha Life did end up winning game 1. Game 2, they stomped them, and then Gen.G do the reverse sweep. They got the broom. They were like, all right, we're just going to reverse sweep this. Gen.G technically win the split because that's how you get first place. So Gen.G and T1's, Gen.G won. Gen.G and Hanwha Life's match, if you win that, you get the first seed. So I don't know how they didn't win the split if they got the first seed, but we'll go over that in just a moment about how bad trash this format is. So after that, Hanwha Life get to play T1, and T1 obviously has kind of struggled against Hanwha Life debatably since winter. They did have that best of 5 against them. That did go very, very close until I think that was drafting that really screwed them over in game 5 in winter. But recently, Hanwha Life did have their number, and it wasn't even close. But until this series, actually. So, good actual God, Peanut ran it down so hard in this game. This was his yes, I remember Peanut running it down on 5 so bad.
3-0 or the 2-0 of T1 was just shit drafting. It was shit drafting that led to bad gameplay because of the drafting.
Yeah,
it was like, right, cool.
I don't know. Emilio, I don't know. T1 are just, I don't know, main characters of League apparently, because even when they look out, it's not ever gone.
But I'm gonna tell you this: Hanwha Life drafting is predictable. Viper on Misfortune, Zekka on Ari, Peanut on Vibe, Deus on Jace.
Oh, I know you watched. I think you said you watched this live too. Do you remember when Doran?
Actually, no. I watched it after. I watched all.
Okay, so if you watch this
all the
live
games separately, yeah.
So if you watch this live, because people would say that Zeus can lane better than Doran. Doran was actually beating him in lane sometimes. In this game right here,
Doran always laned better than Zeus. Zeus just had better potential. Like. But
so in this game right here, when Doran actually was getting ahead of him on Gwen in lane, they actually paused it and he actually forced his flash out early on. But you can watch that on the actual live VOD. I just want to let people know that you can actually watch the live VOD. So Doran carried over his KT performance in this game as well. He played very well on Gwen. He played very well on Mbessa. He played very well on, I think he played Camille in his last game. I think it was Camille or Sion or something like that. He played very well all 3 games. He definitely kept them in the series.
No, Zeus had Sion game 3.
Well, did he have Camille in game 3?
I think I think it was Camille.
I don't remember. Oh, they gave him Cassante. Oh, that's why good.
It was Cassante. It was Cassante one of the games. Zeus had Sion.
I'm actually so glad people started picking Cassante again. He's not. Pro players overreact to how champion gets nerfed sometimes.
No. He was nerfed to shit. But the issue is the nerf was a meta nerf. It wasn't a gameplay nerf. It was a meta nerf. It wasn't. They made him slower, but he was still better than 85% of the top lane picks you will go.
So I would say game 1 actually got very I would say game 1, the reason why they lost most of the series, all the games in my opinion, Peanut underperformed so hard. That's why we're gonna call, and I know people we call JoJo Clarence because he is. I'm calling Peanut from this moment forward, even though I think he is a really good jungler at some points in his career. Most of it, you could definitely argue he's a goat of jungling at some point. This man's name from now on is called Free Nut. His name is Free Nut.
But I'm gonna tell you this: Hanwha Life became predictable in their draft. They kept picking the same champions. You always know that Misfortune is gonna go to Viper. You know Zeus is good on Jace. What do? They let Zeus get Jace and then Doran on Gwen. Just whatever. Think about it. T1 knows Zeus better than Hanwha Life knows Zeus. T1 knows Peanut better than Faker knows Peanut and Zeus better than Hanwha Life does.
It's Peanut a lot of times. It's been
the light is very predictable in the champions he's gonna play. What the fuck? What the fuck with Peanut going in?
Peanut, he is running it down the whole series.
Peanut,
it wasn't just this game.
No. Go back.
Go
look how many deaths. Look how many deaths this motherfucker had in 27 minutes.
Oh no, I watched this. He's running it really bad.
This motherfucker just.
What? Because he knows he would as a jungler, you would have to have your support come with you because you know they're gonna be there. He has no vision. Of course, owner took his camps. Why would you not? Took his camps, took his bitch, and took his fucking ticket to MSI. God damn. stick.
5 deaths in 27 minutes. This month.
Oh, he was
2 assists.
Criminal.
No impact. No impact.
That's why we call him Free Nut.
Yeah, he was free this game.
It's crazy because you would think that he won First Stand, he's won MSI, he's won 7 LCK titles. There's no way you should be having this many at this point in Peanut's career. Why is he still having these levels of underperformance? This shouldn't be happening anymore.
Because
people even said, why did Gen G people even said, why did Gen G get rid of him? Because Peanut will get you really far, but in series that matter where you have to get to the next ultimate destination, like the promised land or whatever, he can't do it. He didn't do it on Gen G. He didn't do it obviously on Rock's Tigers back in the day. He didn't do it he got T1 to the finals of Worlds. He did. He even won MSI with them, but he didn't get them the Worlds trophy win that match when you needed it. And he was also a player where I just don't know.
What year was that again? That was what,
2017. It was 2017 with him. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
They won titles with him. They won Spring, MSI, and then so it wasn't like it was a bust overall. It's just he's always had this. A player this good should not be underperforming this.
But also sometimes, like playing Pokemon, sometimes you know how to counter a player's play style and not like in this case. It's like Pokemon. You sometimes don't counter the deck. You counter a player's play style. If a player's aggressive, how you counter that? You go passive and you make him play your game. In this case, you know what kind of champion, you know what kind of player he is. You just counter it. You know he's going to try to go for the jungle. You know if he falls behind, he's going to try to rush back. He's 3 levels behind Owner.
But it was also low coordination on Hanwha Life too. Because I know you watched the games too. In these 3 games, Hanwha Life had very poor communications. Like Peanuts going in, and then they're like so far away they can't even capitalize on him engaging.
But look at all these champion levels. They was the closest, 1 level behind. Peanut was 3 levels behind his jungler. Zeka was 2 levels behind. Viper was 3 levels behind on Misfortune.
Yeah.
The Light was 2 levels behind on Ralph.
This is a representation. Zeus 1 and 4 is Peanut with 0-7.
Oh,
their bot lane. The bot lane went 0-9. 0-9.
It was the Zeka and Zeus show. It was the Z show. These because they was going to sleep.
Oh, this game was with Carrier. Oh my God. The play that he did at the Dragon Pit where he flanked them. So good. I think it was this moment right here where Carrier got behind them and actually flanked them when they were doing they were actually taking Dragon. Carrier just pulling his cock out again. Good Lord. If Carrier plays the way he does at MSI, T1 win MSI, just give Faker every single fucking trophy.
I'm telling you right now, it's fine because due to T1 did not have to go through the play-ins like they should. They should not be in the play-ins.
I agree. Yeah, it was right. It was right here. So Hanwha Life are trying to take Dragon, and look at what Carrier does. This is so good. So he wraps around. I don't know. They actually do see him. It's just really crazy. So Carrier comes up, uses his ult. He knocks out Zeus. So Zeus is gone, and then he tackles Delight here, so he can't fully engage. Carrier is just carrying the whole fight on Poppy by himself.
Oh, yeah, no, that Poppy play.
Just so damn good.
T1,
so then after that, they lose game 2.
T1 drafts was disgusting. Like
I don't know why they gave Carrier a Poppy. Giving Carrier a Poppy is like back in the day giving Beerix and Zillion.
No.
This fight lives rent free in my head after what Peanut and Zeus were doing.
I'm gonna tell you this.
What?
I'm gonna tell you this. T1, like the only pick that was kind of weird was Rise, but once you understand why Rise is picked,
you know I'm not a Rise hater. I'm a Rise hater. I hate that fucking pick.
And Betsa, Pantheon, and Poppy with Varus is what lost Hanwha Life this game. Like you gave Gloomy Varus with Poppy and T1. You gave Owner fucking Pantheon. Just pack it up, and then you gave Doran and Betsa. Okay, yes, just pack it up, guys. You know.
Well, they traded Victor for Rise, which you would think Victor should be doing better. And they gave Jin Nautilus versus Varus Poppy. That's just
Amelia. I don't think I think T1 can win MSI. I think it comes out between T1 and Gen G. I think it's just the LTK. Because
so what about this fight right here literally lives so rent-free in my head. How in the world does Hanwha Life, how did it ever get this bad? But people, so in the regular season, despite their record, there was a lot of series that were very, that's the same thing we said with Carmine Corp. They have a good record. They have a good record physically, right? What on the scoreboard, the record looks good. But if you like the contents in the game, there was a lot of sloppy series. They were just playing so loose.
But
go ahead.
But I'm gonna say this: Hanwha Life, just like Carmine Corp, they're very predictable in their drafts.
Well, it kind of just feels like they play without any discipline anymore. They played so disciplined in their team fighting and their match.
That too. But Hanwha Life and KC are predictable in their drafts. You know what they're more likely go to pick because one of their champions or one of their players can't play a lot of champions. Calista can't play but only 3 ADCs. Like
also, look at how this fight went. So they put all their effort into Gumusi. They spot him out with the scrying orb. Okay, Gumusi flashes out. Okay, he's living. And Zeus is just trying to take out the ADC. So Zeus is doing everything right here. This is what you do as a top laner. You try to get out the carries. It's what you do.
Get Gumusi because they don't block well enough, but it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter at all.
2v1, Viper starts to fight, but guess who?
And look at the bot lane. Doran is 1v3ing the whole team.
But guess who? Viper starts to fight, but guess who has to take the L? Zeka. Zeka has to die for Viper's sins.
And Viper just had this is also one of he is a Viper himself is good, but he had a really unconventional bad series from him.
4-3-5. Peanut looked better this game. Delight was a walking ward the whole fucking game.
Delight was trying to go to KFC as fast as he could.
Yeah, man, he was trying to get some. Yeah, he KFC Korean
but
fried.
But what's crazy? This wasn't even the worst of Hanwha Life's sins. I should start calling them Hanwha Sins Esports. But this is by far and away one of the worst drafts I've ever seen at a Hanwha Life. This might be one of the worst drafts I've seen all year. Let's break down how bad this draft is. I'm not like
T1 got a very one-note draft.
Their draft super good. It counters this every single way. But they actually got the perfect draft counters to all those champions.
But in a sense, like because all those champions somewhat not do the same, but you know how they have to play.
Well, they have a lot of playmaking and a lot of lockdown. So what's crazy is why did Dandy give Peanut Nidalee? If my jungler, my aggressive playmaking jungler, is not doing aggressive playmaking, I'm not going to give him Nidalee because Nidalee requires you to be basically winning the game by about 25 minutes. He was performing so bad. Why is he on Nidalee? I saw him on Nidalee. I was like, T1 can have this 3-0. Because the same thing I said with Isma. If you give Isma Nidalee, I know you lose. That's an automatic loss.
Yeah. My question is, Lucian with Braum?
So Lucian Braum, depending on matchup against Dimer Khan, it depends how you play it out. It's supposed to be even. It's supposed to be, in theory.
How's Braum getting built? He's getting built AD or AD.
Because when Rakan jumps in, Braum can stun him. Braum can duel him.
My thing, are you building him for MR or with
I think he built Rocket first.
Or armor?
I'm pretty sure Delight built.
Because I'm telling you right now, if Faker builds 80 with Magic Pen, all of them are getting fucking shredded.
To be fair to Hanwha Life, it was Father's Day. True.
Yep.
And that means that Kyria proved to Delight, I'm your daddy, bitch. I don't know who got fathered worse, Doran to Zeus or Kyria to Delight. I don't know who was the better dad that night. Maybe it was two dads.
Oh, no, it was Faker to Hanwha Life. It was Faker to Hanwha Life. They had to call Faker Pops.
That's
the
true.
Faker is Pops.
So the reason why I wanted to talk about how bad this draft was from Hanwha Life. So given that we now know that Cassante is not as bad as he was, giving that up against Nara is not good. Lee Sin to Nidalee, given how bad Peanut was playing on Nidalee, L. Annie
owner play Lee Sin is disgusting.
That's actually one of his best.
And then you gave Peanut Nidalee.
And then you gave Faker Annie a champion where, guys, Annie is the easiest champion to play in League. You just kind of walk up and stun people.
And then also none of your champions are getting built with MR. That's me. Oh, guess what? All Annie has to do is get one
Magic
Pen item.
So weird. How? I don't get it. Like Zeus is literally a better player than him. I don't get it. Every single time Zeus goes up against him, he just kind of falters. I just don't get it.
But Doran Fist is better player versus a better better overall player versus a better system player. Sometimes a system player works when
you're saying Doran basically just a plug-and-play player.
Yeah, sometimes they're better because think about a plug-in player.
You said Tyrese Halliburton. He's a plug-and-play player. He's fitting.
No, he's a good player. The issue with him is he's not the great shooter that everyone thinks it is.
I agree. Yeah, I agree.
He has a shit mechanic. The issue is it just happens to go in.
I think it's the big plays that make him look better.
Indiana has a better coach than a lot of teams. That's why they're able to win. They're not winning mostly on players alone. They're winning on schemes and shit. You got, we can talk about the NBA a whole nother time. But,
yeah. So that's crazy. The Krugs, him dying to Krugs made him a Super Saiyan. He was like, I died to Krugs. Now I just beat KT and Hanwha Life. Doran is the weirdest top laner I've ever seen in League ever. I've never seen that my entire life. He literally plays so egregiously bad sometimes, you're actually debating on, is this guy even a top laner? Then he has performances like this, and you're like, does this guy just competitively just sandbag people? Does he put doubt in people's minds intentionally to make you think that he's really shit? When he's just kind of... Because it's crazy. Because what is Hanwha Life's excuse now? Hanwha Life last year lost with Doran against T1. This year, they lost with T1's player. Hanwha Life has been denied MSI both years in spring by T1. So it wasn't Doran's fault you lost last year. You could say it was Doran's fault if you actually beat them. You could be like, okay, we had Doran last year. We didn't, but it doesn't matter. You lost opposite sides of the matchup.
Yeah,
they had Doran last year. They lost to them.
Exactly, Boom Bob. No refunds. Hanwha Life, no refunds. Fuck that.
I just find it crazy. Also, this draft is so bad. Also in this game, oh my god, Keria and Gumayusi gapped Viper and Delight so bad that it didn't matter if they didn't kill them there because Faker just came in and killed them himself.
That's what I'm saying. Once they got Annie, and I'm like, I'm looking at it like this.
I just see on the mini map. He's just pathing up.
Did anyone build MR?
It didn't matter. You can't. It's too far behind. You wouldn't have even got a chance to get to it. They were losing that bad.
See,
because essentially to build MR, you would have had to be winning to a point where you could have enough money for it. Yeah. So if you're losing in this way, you have to build the item you're first going to build because that's going to give your champion agency to play. Because you can't build something defensive because you have no damage. But they're losing. They're basically losing so unbelievably bad that you couldn't have ever got to that point. Because T1, this game was disgusting. This was their best game. Like game 1 and 2 were very good, but this game ended up with like what? I don't know. It was like 23-6, something like that.
No, it was 29-3.
29-3
at 25 minutes. They didn't even go for Baron because it was over before Baron spawned.
Oh, they're just styling on motherfuckers. There was this play right here on Lee Sin where owner hit Gnar and they just went in and killed him. Oh my god! It didn't matter if Keria died there. It doesn't matter. This game, they got clapped so hard in this game. There's just God, and that's how Hanwha Life goes out. And this is what I told. I mean, James had said that they were going to be a super team, and you could argue they're still a super team. The problem with super teams like this one is the fact that Peanut doesn't play effectively for Zeus the same way Owner played for Zeus. Zeus was played to very well by Owner. People forget this a lot. Peanut doesn't play towards top lane strengths a lot. And I even said, the reason why Hanwha Life would not do as well as Zeus, if there's ever going to be any issue you could ever bring up, is Peanut synergizing with Zeus. It just would have to be that way. Peanut played very well with Doran. But Doran doesn't have any resources.
Literally and Gallia are building Merc Treads. That's decent, but they're kind of fucked.
Yeah, but the thing is, they were like 10,000 gold behind. They were never going to get to a point where they could ever build that in general. There's not enough gold on the map. Because remember, if you're winning that hard, they can just go into your jungle, steal your camps. They have priority in all the waves too. Like, this was an absolute just stomp. completely. Oh, goodbye, Peanut. You're dead. Goodbye,
yeah.
Kitty. Bye, Kitty.
Peanut was
Over.
Peanut was actually fucked. And then Zeka. Oh my, Lucian shooting his guns. Murder.
Oh God.
Murder.
Oh God. 18 no night. These are the games where you're losing so hard. You're just like, all right, you win. FF. Let's go next.
These are the games where you're mentally boomed and you're like, oh fuck. It's the last game we're gonna play. This is the last game.
That one felt a little personal there. That was a little personal on that one.
Oh,
they cornered him, bitten him over, and just fisted him.
And then
Gamusi's like, I'll just solo the Otacon myself. All right, cool. All right. He just solo by himself. Who needs a jungler when your Xayah can be your jungler? God.
I thought he was gonna die here. I was like, oh God, Google, what the fuck are you doing?
I actually thought he couldn't do it. I thought he couldn't do it, but he did. And I was like, okay, well, that's even more demoralizing. They didn't even need their jungler to come and take the Otacon buff with them. He just took it by himself. That's how disgustingly far ahead they were in this game. They were actually just so
20
far below.
That's what it was. 20v1. It was just, yep.
Yeah, it's true. This is Zeka's first loss in the game 5. Since Zeka's been very clutch in game 5s, but when they lost to Gen G, they went 2-. They lost 3 games. Then they lost these 3. So what? They went 2-6 overall. Yep. They went 2-6. Just gross and disgusting from these guys. What was the one where he gave up this? You were the part of the game where he gave up the sad B emoji. Oh, it's right here. Yep. Zeka's like, okay, yeah, my team is trash. We actually just mental boomed. Oh no, sad B.
23-3. And then he tries to get away. Nah,
it's so bad.
Oh, they're gonna kill you. Oh no, you're fucked. Oh, you're fucked. You're fucked. Good night. Good night. Yep.
So now we need to go over just how bad this LCK format is. Okay, so now we've talked about that. Okay, so now let's go to Leaguepedia really quickly. This format is terrible.
No, Bob. Genji reverse sweeping on. You sent him down a hell. Yeah,
that definitely benefited T1 having Genji play them first.
That motherfuckers lost 6 straight. If you think about it,
they did. Yep, right. Yep.
They lost. They went 2-8 in the last 8 games, and their last game with them just getting absolutely fucked. Just absolutely, just
like it's insane because I mean, hey, Hanwha, if you look at it from the position that you're judging these teams before the road to MSI happened, yeah, Hanwha should cakewalk them. That really shouldn't be a crazy take, but it didn't matter because Genji has this thing where they can immensely demoralize teams if they just beat them. And Kanye's been sandbagging himself.
But also, Genji showed us everything that Hanwha is very predictable.
That's true. And they also lean on Zeka so much. Like their team didn't even lean on Zeka that much.
And they lean on drafting the same champions in this with
like the if MF Rel is up, they're gonna take it every time.
Yep. And they're mostly drafting the same champions in the same drafts. That's like, all right, cool. Ban this out, boom, or pick this, counter pick it. Genji exposed them. Genji going down 2-0. It shows.
But game 1 was so close, though. It wasn't even a stomp game. It was very back and forth. That game could have went either way.
Genji, in a sense, is they're how I call it. Hanwha showed us that Genji are human, but that series also showed us that Hanwha is too predictable. And if T1 just played their own game, Hanwha is getting fucked.
Well, it's synergy. It's not even just Hanwha being predictable. They don't really have synergy. That's the main thing that I brought up with them coming into here.
But that also shows
because even when they won First Stand and won the LCK Cup, it wasn't because they had great chemistry where they were making all the right plays. They had better players.
They were predictable at First Stand. But the issue is no other team was good enough to exploit it.
Yeah, they didn't have to work on team synergy at First Stand because they could just win by having better 5 players in the server.
Yeah, that's
the problem with Hanwha. That's the problem I brought up with Hanwha Life when they got Zeus. It's like, okay, you have 5 better players in the server, but if you do not actually have any actual synergy with your team,
that's why Genji was able to beat them the way they did. Because
Duro and Ruler are they that much better than Viper and Delight? Not really. If you could argue
Viper, no. Delight, yes. Delight plays the same through the 4 champions. All you gotta do is figure out what they're gonna put Viper on.
Are you calling
That's
Delight
it.
Lebrov?
I'm not calling him LeBron.
Rob James.
I'm calling him Corjada now.
So this is where we get to the problem with this road to MSI format. So this format's trash, but people did say, this is not my argument. This is esports, not traditional sports. People say you're bringing more stakes when you have the single elimination. All right. I don't really agree with that, but you can use it for this argument, right? Okay, so you got your single elimination back, okay? Just for this. I'm not going to have it in summer for whatever, but fine. Single elimination. It played out exactly how you guys wanted. You got the Cinderella story. Gen.G don't get a title, even though they won in the first place match, even though this is a seeding match right here. So Gen.G technically don't kind of win spring. Then T1 beat KT. Then they beat Hanwha Life. So can Gen.G and T1 play each other now to see who actually wins? Because why would you not want that? Gen.G and T1 should be the finals now. Can't Gen.G and T1 play each other? And keep in mind, people just said Gen.G struggled hard against Hanwha Life. If you're T1 right now, you're coming in hot off 2 series, you could argue T1 would win. You can make the argument they have a chance of winning.
No,
but
also argument, what's the point of fighting when it doesn't matter which 2 teams or the final, whoever wins.
Yeah, and that's the thing is like you don't get you had the finals before you had the qualification match. That match should be played before this one. This match right here should be the one over here. I just don't get it. And then now Gen.G T1 would have been what? That's like the 6th time they met in finals. Jesus Christ, fucking hell! Well, it's like the 6th time in finals. What horrible format is this? Okay, Gen.G and Hanwha Life, they're guaranteed MSI. Okay, let's see who plays for the trophy then. Go ahead. Doesn't matter the result. You win a trophy. T1 arguably could beat them at this position if you're going off of the recency bias we have with the 2 series. That's even a disservice to T1. It's like, hey, I actually leveled up. Can I fight them now? No, you can't. But you can go to MSI, though. What the fuck is this then? Now you just deny me Gen.G and T1 again? Are you serious? And Gen.G, keep in mind, I love Gen.G a lot, but playing in playoffs is different in regular season. They went 18-0. They have that as their accolade as an org. But against Hanwha Life, keep in mind, T1 was a 3rd seed and played more best of 5s than Gen.G, a team that actually got 1st place and technically maybe sort of won spring. How does that even make sense? Hanwha Life, a team that's not going to MSI, played more best of 5s in playoffs than Gen.G, who won. How does that make sense to anyone? Who made this format? Who made this? You need to be thrown into a Korean jungle or dungeon. Horrible, horrible, horrible format.
But honestly, it doesn't matter who wins spring because it matters who gets to MSI. And we could look at this for the LEC. LEC, Koi wins spring. Does it really fucking matter? G2 won their spot to MSI a week ago. It's like
but my argument is I don't want to have people just normalizing losing because then you just end up being like Fnatic, right? If G2 just normalize, hey, it doesn't really matter, we got there, which is the end goal is to get there. But it's like, are teams okay with losing even though you already got the end result? Because I'd argue that's just a double negative at that point,
At the end of the day, these finals don't matter because they already get you the result you want. It's MSI.
But I know that that's fine. It's just like, god damn. Now we don't. Can we get a real finals if they both make? Because they already both made MSI. Can we see them go against each other then?
The main thing is because the way they set it up,
that would mean that because that means that Gen.G as the 1st seed played less best of 5s than a team in the LPL. Cloud9 played more best of 5s than Gen.G.
Yeah,
I think Team Liquid you could say played more best of 5s than Gen.
But you gotta realize their format is equivalent to them playing less games and playing more games later on. Yeah, Gen.G played none but best of 3s the whole season, and all right, cool. You have to win your split in order to get the top.
So like technically, do we have a finals? Because we wouldn't know if T1 would beat Gen.G at this point. We wouldn't know. We wouldn't even know Gen.G would beat T1.
My thing is this: does it matter who won?
But like the format is still designed bad.
Like It is, but at the same time, it's like even with
there's no finals, there's no winner. There's just qualifications. It's like
that's what it is. A lot of times, it's qualification. Oh, we just want to see who's better. It's like it doesn't fucking matter. It matters because you want more games to see who actually is the winner. But the main thing is,
I would like to know who's the champion. I would like to know that.
But it's the same end. It's the same end result if you look at it from.
No, what I'm saying is they got the result. T1 and Gen G are an MSI, regardless of the result.
That's it.
So can we see them
right there?
Yeah, because can we see them play for the trophy that should exist? Can we see them play? I'll see why you should be able to play. It doesn't matter. You locked it inside. It doesn't matter.
That's the thing. Right? There's no point to play more games. If the whole thing was LET just wanted to give us more games. All right, cool.
LET should be like the ground.
But honestly, if you think about it, G2 got the first, got the it's like it showed us. Oh, is Corey better than G2? I don't think so, but they played the extra game. All right, cool. Guess what? They're both going to MSI. That finals was a pointless game because you already know who's going to MSI.
But if you're G2,
what's the point of the finals?
Yeah, but
no. Tell me, what's the actual point of the finals?
Win a trophy. That's your end result of any
Who
player's
gives a fuck about a regional trophy?
You would argue that for the NFL or NBA. The point of playing is to win something.
A regional trophy is a regional trophy.
It doesn't matter because they're not going to win MSI. That's not going to be on anyone's unless you actually are the LCK or the LPL. G2's not winning MSI. G2's actually pretty weak right now.
Yeah, but
I'm saying like. What?
But it's a regional trophy. It's a divisional trophy. It's like, all right,
but cool. That's all some teams are going to be able to win. They're not going to win an MSI. That's not. We know they're not. They know they're not. They can boast on Twitter all they want. They're going to win. We know when MCoy plays T1, that ass about to get fisted. That's not.
That's how I'm saying for the LTK. It's like, all right, cool. All right. Oh, let's see. It's more likely going to be Gen G winning. But at the same time,
I guess you could argue. Bragging rights. I don't know. I mean, as a player,
the bragging right is me, you in the MSI finals. Because I don't think LCK don't even need division because it's more likely they're going to get to Worlds. They're like this year, as long as Gen G and T1 don't end up on the same side, they might end up meeting in the finals. Because more likely Gen G and T1 could end up in the MSI finals.
I mean, come on. Tarzan against T1 is a great. No, he doesn't. That dude.
Tarzan versus.
Trophy is going to be against Tarzan time around.
Or do you want Tarzan versus Kane?
I want to see Super versus Gumayusi. I want to see that. I want to just see his butthole get ripped apart.
I want Clarence versus Toby.
Oh my!
Give me that. Give me that.
Hey, that's JoJo's idol right there. So,
give me Caps versus Faker Part 6. Just let's Faker get revenge for 2019.
I want to pointing out. I know Yike's not going to be at MSI because he lost on Carmine Corp. Yike was one of the main reasons that G2 almost beat T1 in the best of 5. And he's actually not there this year. So hopefully Skewmon can do it.
Skewmon versus Ken.
Oh shit.
LeBron versus Duro. Do you want to see Hasama and LeBron James versus Ruler Duro?
Duro, crap.
Gumayusi Kyria. Duro versus Kyria.
Merwin versus Doran. That might be the weirdest matchup ever. That's odd. All right.
Merwin versus King.
Oh, I wasn't. I automatically went in and think he was going to get fisted in that one. That wouldn't be a thought in my head. Merwin versus Keen. Oh God, maybe if Merwin can eat Keen.
Tarzan versus Skumon.
Good Lord.
Tarzan versus Inspired.
Wait a minute. Shanks is on anyone's legend. If Shanks beats Caps, I can say Caps got shanked. God. Actually, Shanks is a very, very good player. I'm actually so glad he's finally made it to an international event. I remember when he was on World Elite. Very, very good player.
But Whippo, just imagine Whippo versus one of the Korean top laners.
Whippo versus Keen. Oh, good God.
Whippo versus Doran.
Oh, that's a matchup I would want to see.
Whippo versus Ben. Whippo versus Ben.
Oh, I was assuming he obviously
He about
didn't
to
have a chance in
Ben
that at
about
all.
to put Whipple in the bin.
I want to see. I know Genji will probably play this better out this time around. I want Genji and FlyQuest to face each other again, so you can shut up doubters being like, "Oh, but they almost beat Genji." That's how you know the LTA is trash. Motherfuckers are bragging about a series they didn't even win.
You know who I want to see, because you know he glazed this person. Busio versus Carrier. Yes.
Busio versus Carrier.
Think about it.
Yeah.
You remember when he pulled out the motherfucking Azir support? We all looked at him like this. The motherfucker had the tism. I was like, yo, bro, you wild. Oh, but Carrier did it. And he didn't win the game.
All right, so let's go over to the LTA. FlyQuest win the LTA 2025 North Split 2. Very, very back and forth series against Cloud9. So before you went on vacation, we just had the Final Four, and that was actually this week. So this week, you weren't here for this week. We had talked last time about this week. So Team Liquid's season is over. So is Shopify Rebellions, and so is Cloud9's technically. So since Cloud9 got second, they're going to be at EWC. Yep. And EWC is 3 days after MSI. So fucking hell, what level of scheduling is that? So we'll over that later. So FlyQuest versus Cloud9 the first time around. I knew C9 wouldn't win game 5 in that because they chose to pick Akali over Tristana. Saw that live, and I went, all right, just go to next week. If anybody argues to me, they're going to pick Akali over Tristana, I will not listen to you about drafting advice. You are retarded. Anybody saying that, you're a moron. Someone says, I can have Akali. Can I have Tristana for that? You can. I'll take that trade every day. Thank you. And guess what? FlyQuest won. Worst draft I've seen Cloud9 do in a very, very long time. Before I get to opening up Blabber's pussy and Blabber's fresh hairy Badussy later on, Shopify Rebellion, let's be honest here, there was a gap between Shopify and Cloud9 and FlyQuest anyway, if we're being honest here. Yeah, Shopify Rebellion, they played against 100 Thieves and Team Liquid decently well. 100 Thieves had been on the downward trajectory. Team Liquid had been very kind of up and down anyway throughout the split. They had the issues with T. They brought in Yuja mid-split. And then they have to deal with all the problems with having a rookie just coming in. And he has his very first playoffs. And we know what happens with rookie players when they have their first playoffs in big situations for games that advance your season or end your season. Shopify is out. I mean, people were kind of hyping up Palafox's glow up. It was okay. I don't think it was that good overall. But I think Fudge is the player that really did step up for Shopify Rebellion. If you want to argue a player that really did kind of, play better throughout the season. Contracts lost his brain, kind of kept it on, threw it in the trash some games. I don't count their bot lane. Their bot lane might as well be 2 fucking walking rocks, in my opinion. Their bot lane is just unbelievably bad. You could literally have a sponge and a rock, and that would be better actual assistance in the game than having Seos and B-Boy. Just awful. Shopify Rebellion's out. They lost to Cloud9. Team Liquid's oh, God. So Team Liquid is out. They're done as well because they lost to Shopify Rebellion before Cloud9 played Shopify Rebellion. Team Liquid, they have Yuja. Hopefully they can work with Yuja and play better with him in the summer split. T's out because reasons. I mean, for me, I don't even know if Yuja's better than T, honestly, but we'll have to see it with more games played.
I don't know if he's better. But I would say
because there's no little games to judge off right now. I
would say his upside, he has a better upside.
He looked like he was literally choking out of his ass in one of these series. He was literally getting on his knees, and I was like, "Is this guy really that bad?" Or he just because keep in mind he's a rookie. It's his very first game on the line that matters for advancing your season. A lot of times players just choke hard in playoffs when they first get into the playoff situation. So I'm not going to give up on the guy just yet. He came in very late in the regular season and then went straight into playoffs. That can be a lot of pressure on a player when they first play. Summer split, it's going to be a long summer split all the way up until the finals. We'll see how he plays out. But you can tell Team Liquid weren't going to win with him because when you randomly drop a jungler, bring in a rookie, it's like a rookie is going to have to be taught the ropes. It's just are. They'll have to kind of figure out how it goes. Some rookies can like come in better or worse depending on the situation. Like Skewmon was a rookie technically, but not every rookie is the same when you add them into a team. So, but also you could also argue that Umti himself wouldn't have done anything. Like, when Spawn said that they were going to have an announcement on Umti, you knew that was going to be hey, this player's gone. So Cloud9 against FlyQuest. FlyQuest and Cloud9, you could just say were the best two teams in the LTA 2025 North Split 2. The entirety of the split. The series, I mean, you could argue Cloud9 could have won some of them. You could argue Cloud9 could have won both of them.
Yeah.
But it's the thing where when people have said, well, the LTA should have been given 2 spots, I'm not disagreeing with that position. What I'm saying is that fact that even if Cloud9 had been given the position to go to MSI with FlyQuest for being the 2nd seed, it wouldn't have mattered. That specifically wouldn't have mattered because Cloud9 were not going to play well at MSI. Look at how they choked against FlyQuest. They couldn't even beat FlyQuest. Never choking against FlyQuest in situations that they easily could have won. And you're going to tell me and someone will tell me with a straight face that Cloud9 would have faced off against Gen G and won. Are you serious? No, they wouldn't have. Yep. You're going to tell me that Blabber was going to go up against those teams and play well against them? So Cloud9 would have got to go as a 2nd seed and do what? Go out in the first 2 rounds? Was that worth it? And I wanted to point this out. We're going with the LCK. These teams aren't winning MSI anyway. That's not something that's going to happen. But it's like, what would have Cloud9 done being there? Besides, hey, let's go to Vancouver. Let's scrim against T1 and Gen G. Oh, we just went, I don't know, 0-12 in scrims. Oh, our mental's destroyed. We're mental boomed. Oh, yeah, now we just went on stage and we got fisted again. That would have happened against BLG, and that would have happened against Anyone's Legend too. Them going was not going to make them better. It was probably going to make them worse. If FlyQuest had went to MSI 2025, the same thing that happened to FlyQuest last year would have happened to them. That maybe would have got them to get rid of Blabber. So that may be one of the things that, could have happened in that timeline, but we're not in that timeline right now. Blabber is just, he's just, I don't know why he's still here. He had a few good games against FlyQuest these past series, but I don't get why Cloud9 just doesn't try anyone else out new. Like, it feels like he could just run games down and just freely do that and not ever be kicked for whatever reason. Like, I mean, we had said that FlyQuest were going to MSI. I knew Cloud9 wasn't going to go. I knew the series were going to be close, but we had said you might as well just send FlyQuest. I think FlyQuest were the better team overall. I mean, Thanatos, he played well against Whipple in the series. He did. Blabber had 1 or 2 good games against Inspire, but overall Inspire is the better player. Quad is just better than Loki. Quad impacts games more. He's just a better threat on the map. Loki really isn't a threat on the map, Sven and Vulcan are not as good as Masu and Busio. Some days it could be even. Some days it can't be. It's a coin toss typically, but it's more or less so favored with Masu and Busio. Like, I just don't know what to do. It's not like you could be mad at Cloud9. They got to the finals. They were 1 game away from winning. You could argue they should have won game 4. You could argue they should have won a lot of these games to get them there. But you just wouldn't want that at MSI. Guys, I promise you, they would have gotten ass fisted like FlyQuest did last year if they went. What would have going had done for them? Like, I don't get this. They would have just gotten fisted and clobbered by any team. You could argue CFO would beat them. You could argue GAM would beat them. The only team they probably could beat is Furia. And that's debatable too. But it's Brazil, so they're pretty much a free win no matter what international competition they go to. So, yeah, FlyQuest is going for the LTA. It's like, do we really have hope in FlyQuest? I mean, the LTA, this split was very, very bad.
North and South is bad.
Just a it was basically a 2-team race, this split, with FlyQuest and Cloud9. Like I said before, 100 Thieves dropped off, Team Liquid dropped off. Somehow Shopify Rebellion was considered a 4th team. Like, that's how you knew teams were out here just flopping hard.
Yeah.
So I'm not rooting for FlyQuest. Gen G and G2 are at MSI. I'm happy about that. That's good. 2 of the teams I root for.
I got BLG, G2
Fuck you. fuck you. You know, it's all good. BLG
And
gonna get.
BLG, I got 3 Ds. Because your
Don't
Chinese
worry,
food
guys.
is garbage.
Cloud9 is gonna be at EWC. Where shit, fuck me. Good
Get
lord.
fisted.
Why is Blabber still? Why is Blabber still here?
Oh, okay. If Cloud9 already used their 2 import slots.
You're right.
Who do you get? You get contracts?
I don't even know. At
You
this
get
point.
River?
Well, River's gonna be at he won't be able to play after this year. He's got to go do a military service.
Oh yeah, he's gone.
I don't even know what to do. Honestly,
You get contracts?
I would imagine they have to change up their roster because, like, keep in mind,
Do you
they're
pick up
only
Update?
You're fucking with me there. I know you're fucking with me there.
No, I'm dead at. I was like, the thing is, you can't pick up Update because he's an import.
Because the issue here is, like, they're using their import slots in mid and top, which aren't bad positions to use your import slots on. The problem here is, like, yeah, Loki is the top 4 mid, but is that based off circumstance or actual skill level?
That's certain. Look at these 8 teams. Look at or 6 teams. Because
there's no NA mids here. There's all Korean mids, right? I think it is. Except APA.
No,
AP is the only NA
one.
mid. What's a Palafox? But technically, Palafox is Canadian.
Nah, he still counts as North American.
I know, but like he's not American, technically speaking.
North American, yes, he is.
I hate you. Fucking, I hate you so
much. There's 8 teams. Think about it.
APA is American.
No,
yeah.
And Abadaga, who's European.
Was an American. Yeah, most of this league is just filled with imports in mid lane. Mid lane's mostly imports unless you count Pal Fort.
You got Lions, got some Spanish motherfucker whose name I can't pronounce.
No, Lions mid is Saint.
Saint, yeah. He don't got damn Saint.
Yeah, 100 Thieves have quit. He's one of the best mid laners when he's not mental boom by what Sniper's bullshit is. He's Korean. Yeah. FlyQuest is quad. C9 is Loki. So best 3 mids right now are Korean.
Are we surprised?
Saints Korean. Team. Who else is on here? Dig have Keen. He's Korean. He was Rainbow 7th mid last year. Like the whole league is just imported. Good lord.
Except for APA and Palafon.
That's it. Yeah.
Jesus.
And keep in mind, I say this too. Like, I don't think Sven played bad. I don't think Vulcan played that bad. I think they were fine of a bot lane. They were good enough for LTA standards, but like something has to change with the team. I'm not even saying Cloud9 don't work hard. I mean, I watch the content. You can see from the outside
do work hard, but FlyQuest just works harder. And think about FlyQuest been together longer too. FlyQuest had to fail. They had to fail with Jensen. Because think about it.
You're saying they had to start with Jensen so Quad could walk?
Yeah, that they could figure out. Oh,
they didn't even want Quad originally. They put him on their academy team.
Jensen might not have been 100% of the problem, but he was a good chunk of it. And they was like, all right, cool. We need to get rid of somebody. Once they saw him play up against
Faker, you knew that was just all right. You can.
He got 0-10. It wasn't even close. No. This is what sealed it. It's not losing T1. It's who they lost to after.
Oh yeah, they lost to PSG. They lost to Maple. Jensen lost to Maple.
In a dominant fashion. This motherfucker was losing lane. Jensen looked washed. When PSG was just fisting everybody on the team, FlyQuest didn't look cohesive. Once T1 fuck you is one thing. Teams are used to getting fucked by T1. Look at Battle Lions. Motherfuckers got fucked in 1647. Lions still ain't fully recovered to now.
And T1 beat them so hard, they actually changed their whole org.
Yeah.
That's a joke. But, like...
No, you're right. They took the summer, played it out, and they got rid of everybody but Oyoya. And rebranded.
What's crazy is, for looking at the LEC, it's crazy because MCOY shouldn't even have Oyoya. The only reason why Oyoya is still there is because Mad Lions just botched the negotiations from him going to G2 and Fnatic. It's the only reason why he's still there.
Yeah.
They actually should not even have him. But that's my, that's what I want to say about the LTA and Cloud9. I do love Cloud9. They're the first esports I ever supported when I first watched them in 2014. But this might, And that's why, for me personally, my opinion, I just don't normalize teams just losing, because then you get into this spot right here where it's like, yeah, we lost. We got to finals and we lost. It's like, but you still lost. You know, it's like there's no end result there. It's like, is the end result just getting to finals to prove you just get to finals? No, the end result should be you winning. That's the end result of doing it. That's why you invest all this amount of money to these players so you win. So, like, I hope Cloud9 don't end up like being Fnatic again. That would be just, no one wants to be like Fnatic. That's the thing. As Tyrese Gibson said in Too Fast, Too Furious, no one wants to go back to Barstow. No one wants to be like Fnatic. That's how it works around here.
Yep.
LTA, because Chaz wants to talk about how bad Carmine Corp is, because he's been wanting to shit on them forever. So you have the floor. Here's your chance to shit on Carmine Corp. What did you want to say about Carmine Corp?
All that shit motherfucking Jack was talking about. Motherfucking don't even get to the finals. All that motherfucking shit he was popping off. Oh, no one competed. We're a step above everybody. Where the fuck you at, nigga?
He actually was. You could debate. He was the reason why they actually lost both series.
Oh no, he got too cocky because he beat. Well, I beat my own motherfucking team, nigga, and then he lost.
He proved that he can beat his old team. All right, and that's hard to do in the
G2
era.
He proved that he beat his own. He could beat his own team, but he also proved that G2 moving off from him was the right decision.
Damn, that's a dope. Yeah, it's true too. Yeah.
That's the fucked up. And KC losing also proved that motherfucking Kalith ain't that guy. And Targamas is a fucking ham. And Kana's that nigga. And Vladdy mid. That's what they proved. KC's predictable as well. KC.
Well, you know what I said about KC. KC, like record-wise, looked good. They got first place. They went.
Yeah.
I forgot. They went 9-17-1, something like that. But the actual record they went. Let me see what record they had.
It was 16-2. I want to say.
Yeah, they went. Yeah, sorry. It was 17-7. I was confusing game score with match record. They went 17-7, 8-1. Now this looks good on a record. This looks great for a regular season. But a lot of those games were very close. Heretics could have beat them. Team BDS could have beat them. They had a lot of series where this could have easily. They could have easily went like 6-4.
5-4. No, they could have easily went 5-4.
Yeah, it feels like to me they just got really complacent. They didn't actually improve from first stand and winner split.
You know why? Because they always knew that they could beat them. That's the same.
But it was the narratives too, dude. Like the casters, they were like, "Well, KC won winner, and they got to the finals at first stand." Even though at first stand, KC literally had situations where they easily could have never even made playoffs.
Yeah,
because Team Liquid
all Team Liquid got to do is win one more fucking game.
Yeah, Karmi Corp got into a situation at first stand, if you guys remember, where they literally would have actually never made top 4. But Top Esports and Team Liquid got on their knees together and started throat goating each other because APA was ass pussy ass in that fucking tournament. Motherfucker was irrelevant.
Ass pussy
unintended. That.
Just garbage. Garbage.
Man, people were like, well, Karmi Corp made finals at first stand, even though CFO could have beat them too. Like, just such suspect League of Legends gameplay we're watching here. Homalife drill all on their ass and fist them up a little bit.
Homalife was trying to lose to fucking T1. I mean, not T1.
Team Liquid.
Mm-hmm. And Team Liquid could have taken advantage.
Motherfucker Zayus picked Hale. He was trying to let them win. I don't get it. I literally don't get it when it comes to Karmi Corp, because casters were like, well, Karmi Corp, we finally have a new king. We have Karmi Corp. God, calling the French the kings is so ironic. Holy shit. Karmi Corp win winter. Then they get finals. They get a very suspect second place at first stand. And people acted like Karmi Corp just ran the region. Like, what? You just won your first title.
So you got G2 looking.
That's what we do in traditional sports. You win one time, cool. Let's see you do it again. Karmi Corp didn't do it again.
They could do it again. They could even get to the finals this time.
They shouldn't get to the finals this time around. That's crazy. Think about.
Yep.
They even lost to MCoy, a team that they got a chance to pick.
The same way that 3-2. They lost to top round 1 3-2, and they lost to round 3 3-2.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Absolutely crazy that people thought that Karmi Corp just ran the region. It's like people act like they were like some G2. They were no. When someone like Karmi Corp wins first, like when you first win your first title, I'm like, grab. You got to the finish line. You won a trophy.
It's like how Doc said, "When you go platinum, can you go platinum again?"
Yeah, like, can you do it again? And Karmi Corp proved they didn't do it again because they got so complacent in their gameplay The only player that really actually played good was Kana. For being completely honest here,
that's what they got predictable in their drafting. That's why Corey was up.
We're not even going to go over Targamas and his support picks. Oh my god, Targamas is a player. He's just getting carried by his team. Targamas, guys, isn't a good support player. Not Kalista.
No.
Go ahead.
You're right about Targamas, but it's the bot lane. Kalista ain't it.
People talk about Kalista as if like he's like Guma Yusi. It's like his lane. Kalista Targamas' actual 2v2 laning isn't that good.
It's absolutely atrocious. And this thing I'll say, they're predictable. And when I mean predictable, I mean you know what the fuck they're going. You know what that team's going to do. They have to protect Kalista because if Kalista falls behind, your
and Vladdy regressed pretty hard from winter.
I don't think Vladdy was always who he was. Sometimes when you get someone enough confidence, they start to play better than what they are. Like sometimes you get someone enough confidence, they start playing better because in their mind they believe they can do it. And in a sense, they're not much better than they are. It's okay. I'm here. I know. I feel like I can win. If they start playing well, they start playing safe champion into safe drafts. Safe drafts are good because when the team doesn't know how to prepare for you, the first time you're good. Jesus Christ, goddamn shocks.
God damn. I'm definitely a shocks enjoyer myself. But going on,
they got too predictable. Koi is a team that's unpredictable because they just.
I think you can also argue. I would say this Koi. I don't think it's that good, but they did level up in the playoffs.
Oh yeah, they leveled up, and the thing is too, Koi. The most predictable champion on Koi is JoJo, because
he actually pulled out picks that people wouldn't think he pulled. He pulled out the Kassadin. He pulled out. Then his Ari gameplay this week was good. He actually only played bad on Galio.
That's why Corby. Think about it. That round 3 G2 versus Koi in the upper bracket finals, G2 had Koi's number because Koi was just picking
up. It's crazy. Both winter and spring now, every team that G2's beaten in this position, they get to the finals, they lost to that new person.
Yep.
They beat Karmine Corp, lost them in the finals. Same with Koi. It's like, and the thing with G2 is my problem is Broken Blade hasn't been that second carry for G2 that they've needed. Hansama can't do it with Lebrov. It's impossible.
But the issue is this too. G2 don't want Broken Blade to be that second carry anymore.
And that's the thing is they need someone to be the second, someone to step up and be the second carry.
You know who they want to be that second carry? Caps, but Caps ain't that guy anymore. Caps hasn't been that guy for 2 years. They wanted to be Caps. That's the motherfucking hero. It needs to be Hansama and Broken Blade or Hansama and Skuma. Mm-hmm. It needs to be one of those two, but they're trying to make it Caps Hansama again.
I feel like they've given Skewmon the reins to just kind of make the team his. It feels like this is Skewmon's team, not Caps' team.
But you know the sad part about it? As long as Caps is still a team, Caps still will have said. G2,
and then they're always hoping, if we have Caps, he can bounce back and be that Caps that he was before.
G2 in a sense needs to come to the decision. Are we going to finally let Caps go?
Oh, no, that's never going to happen.
I know. That's the sad part.
Caps on G2 was like C9 and Blabber. They're just, I guess, mated for life at this point.
But the issue is both of them are replaceable. Caps is less replaceable than Blabber. Blabber hasn't won anything significant for C9. Mm-hmm. Caps has won him aside. He has that leeway in a sense.
Been to back-to-back World Finals. He's the only Western player to do it too. Yeah.
Yep.
And his actual body of work in the LEC, isn't he like what? He's 14-3 in finals. That is actually insane. That is crazy.
And before this year, it was 14-1 in finals. That was a crazy part.
Season finals weren't even close.
Yeah.
Or debatably, I will always give him that one title that they won in summer last year with Fnatic. I don't really count that. That was basically Fnatic throwing it away. But if you want to count it, sure, I guess. But
that ain't the season finals.
Fnatic.
What if summer is round 3 is G2 versus Fnatic, and then Fnatic finally went their first final?
Is Fnatic going to have a team? Because they feel like they all just mentally imploded too.
Oh my god, I gotta talk about Fnatic. Fnatic's a whole nother piece too.
So I will say this. I mean, because Tuesday or Thursday we're gonna have a preview show for MSI. I don't really have that much hope for the LEC, honestly. I think MCOY's gonna get destroyed. Honestly, they scrim against those Asian teams. It's over.
I think MCOY's gonna get destroyed too, but not for the. I think MCOY's gonna get figured out a lot faster than than how the LEC
like teams when they have the roadshow days for the LEC, the roadshow days where those big crowds and everything. Guys, Skumon didn't look very good in front of crowds. I mean, like, is he gonna look better now at MSI when it's in Vancouver? It's a massive crowd there. I don't know. He's under pressure. He's not been playing very well, honestly.
Him and LeBron.
Well, I've given on LeBron ages ago. It's automatically 4v5 with that motherfucker.
Yeah.
Oh, before we go.
Oh yeah, remember that? Go yeah, Cheap Esports got some.
Oh my god! Today. Oh god, I hate this. I hate esports sometimes. I truly do because of shit that's gonna happen with this. There's off-season news. We're gonna cover that because I'll need some stuff to cover. When's the next time we're gonna do the show? Saturday, I think. Maybe no. Saturday I have a one-on-one. I mean, we might be able to. No, we'll do it next week before MSI because MSI is it next Thursday? I forget sometimes. Jesus Christ, it's the 27th, Thursday. So yeah, we'll be able to have a preview show. Fucking hell. Yeah, it's 27, 12 p.m. Yeah. So we'll have our preview show Thursday next week, and we'll be able to go over the off-season news. And then for I'll have that last LEC episode with Warren on Tuesday. So yeah, next week, Tuesday, Thursday, and then Saturday we'll cover the game. So this is the thing here that Riot announced. Riot announced they're making a good lord, I hate that. Chaz, can you help her, please?
Yep.
She said she wants to cuddle. Oh god.
Okay, MSI I got you, Sparkle. I'll cuddle with you.
Yeah, he'll cuddle with me. Fuck that motherfucker. But
I ain't gonna cuddle with you, nigga. You stink.
Man.
According to James.
What the heck? I shower every day. I smell good. Women try to smell my ass.
I got you, Sparkle. I'll cuddle with you.
So, official. Riot Games launches Game Changers in EMA, the first ever official women's competition, LCG Rising. Okay, so as you guys know, I talk a lot of shit about women, and I know. Keep in mind, people always say you're a misogynist. No one ever tells me I'm wrong. They don't tell me I'm wrong. It's all good. It's fine. This is what Riot tried doing this in Valorant. They had a woman scene. It died out because there's no viewership. I'm calling this right now. This will be gone in 2 years. 3 years max. There's no viewership. There's going to be no viewership with this. G2 streams their women team on their League of Legends YouTube channel playing, and that shit gets like 30 viewers. G2, which is the biggest org in the LEC, bar none, next to like insert whoever you want to say, Carbon Corp McCoy, with fan bases. G2 literally can't get their League of Legends female team to have more than 30 viewers. How in the fucking world is Riot going to make this work? Riot can barely handle World, MSI, the major regions, and all that shit. They can barely make decent formats out of that and barely run these tournaments good the way they are now. And then they're going to launch a women's league in EMA? Who is going to sit here and watch this? There's no viewership for this. Women aren't good at league. Russia tried doing this. That team went 0-18.
I mean, when it's just women,
diamond.
I mean, when it's just women, it'll work.
It'll be women against women. But even that, it's like, no, who's going to try to watch that? They're trying to make the WNBA.
But there's one issue about it. It's like, where is it?
Oh, there's one here.
Yeah.
There's one here. There's actually a thing in here where it basically says they're going to allow people who identify as women to play. There's actually a real one right here.
The part, yeah.
This is the part right here. LGC is open to all individuals who identify as women.
That means if we get 5 Looney Tunes,
that means you can get 5 Looney Tunes that are men playing League. That'll be better than all the women.
Yo, just get the worst team. Just get the worst male team. Just have on identify
Wait a
as women.
minute. By this logic, couldn't Las Ratones, all the players identify as being women and playing this?
Yeah, or near airport, the team, whoever left on that shit team. Just, man, Just
Here,
resurrect
Riot,
them.
this is for you.
They're doing crack.
Yep.
They're doing crack. Man, people smoke crack, and you shouldn't do that.
That's facts. That is facts.
I hate you, Riot.
What they do is they grab wads of shit from the crack of their asshole, and then what they do is throw it at the.
Yeah, that's the one I wanted. The one he just, you just throw shit at the wall and just hope it sticks. That's what they're doing.
This
They're
literally
throwing-
is. This is so stupid. I was gonna comment under this. I would have had like 10,000. That might have been my most viral tweet if I had ever commented under this. And I'll do it right now in front of you guys. So males can compete in the women's league. What a fucking joke. I should have tweeted that out I saw this tweet right when it happened this morning because I'm off today. That'd have been my most viral fucking tweet. So men can compete in this Riot. This is how I hate this fucking company. LGC is open to all individuals who identify as women.
And the thing is, too, you can't tell me I don't identify as a woman because they
You can't. What are you bigot? Yeah. Are you fucking? What are you? Transphobic?
You don't want that
Yeah.
Yeah, really.
That means Chaz right now could move to Europe and compete in this. He got identify. All he has to do is wear a Troon shirt, wear a Troon flag shirt, say identify as a woman. You can play. What are you gonna do, Riot?
Me, James, and 2 other people.
Hell yeah! Let's just
Yes.
Looney Troon it up. Our team's gonna be called Decepticons Gaming. Oh God.
Oh
Oh God. Riot. I'm calling the reason why I was gonna make a video about this or something with the view because man, Whoopi Goldberg pissed me off with something she said. Actually triggered me so bad. This is gonna die in 2 years. There's no viewership for this. They tried it with Valorant. Valorant's more popular in League right now, and that couldn't sustain women.
The issue is Valorant is already dying.
Like CS:GO, CS:GO's women divisions don't even garner viewership like that. Unless,
but I'm gonna tell you the whole thing with Valorant. Valorant already started to die as Valorant after 2023 started to die as a competitive esport, and then they tried to throw women in it. Women weren't already no one already gave a shit because they tried when they try to have that OTV competitive group where they was like, we're gonna be like a road show team.
Yeah,
don't give a fuck about people. Find Sydney is attractive, Quartergate is attractive. Tenzin is already
the only way men would watch women play League because they're objectively worse than men at playing League. But there's some women that are diamond. No one fucking cares. Cool.
But that's not enough to create a whole league.
Kitty is Grandmaster. Is she? I think Kitty is Grandmaster or Master. Yeah, but she doesn't get picked up by any teams. You know who's also Grandmaster? Oscar Renan. Oscar Renan is hard stuck Grandmaster. That motherfucker couldn't reach Challenger.
But the one issue with Kitty is Kitty only knows how to play 3 champions.
That's the problem. I'm sorry, guys. Women just aren't as good as men at League.
I'm telling you right now. If Kitty joined the team, she would just get counterpicked to oblivion.
I can't mind. There was orgs that did not want to sponsor teams that had Looney Tunes on them. Good. All those orgs that cut. Thank you. Good job. Because that's not women in esports.
Because honestly, as someone who's done marketing, no one wants to be responsible for someone that has mental illness. But we can't say it out loud. No, because that person has shown to be unreliable. If you're saying you're in this, but you're considered this, you're considered unreliable because we can't trust you because one day you might be, call me this. Next day you might be calling me this. No offense. And this is gonna sound fucked up. People who consider themselves to be Decepticon, Loot, for whatever you want to call them, are considered unreliable by a lot of individuals in companies. But as a company, we have to sponsor them because we have to be inclusion or including everyone. But it's like, as a company, I don't want to include this, person, but as an individual, but as a company, because we get that 1-2% extra people. Because the people who already follow us are going to follow us. They might not watch as many games, but they're still following us. But if we could get to 1 to 2% extra people, that might be more money. It's the whole thing with WNBA. That's why I was like, it's the issue is in the sad part about it is.
Oh, I'm hearing there's a big rumor right now in the LEC offseason. We'll go over it later. But I want to go over this part right here. A step towards inclusion with limits. Yes.
That's an oxymoron. That's an oxymoron because you can't have.
Who wrote this? Did Arsh Goyle, that fucking libtard maggot, write this? Okay. Arsh Goyle is a fucking libtarded fucking retard. So this is such a stupid statement. A step towards inclusion for women. Esports. Cool. We can allow men. What's the point of whatever? I'm gonna be here all night if I do this. It's okay. Open to all individuals who identify as women. Burn. I hate this. I hate it here. The new League of Legends Game Changers aims to create a safe space and welcoming space for women to engage with professional play, much like its Valorant counterpart has done. Yeah,
and failed.
Yeah, all the orgs that had female teams dropped them because there's no viewership. Yeah, however,
the only reason why Valorant is successful, they can have women's teams because Valorant is a game like other games. Like League's a lot tougher. It's a lot tougher than Valorant in a sense.
However, this new circuit marks a notable shift in the existing scene orchestrated by Riot Games guidance. By specifically framing the competition as a safe space for women, it creates a divide that leaves out non-binary
individuals and other the marginalized gender who has historically been included in the ecosystem. While the competition is up to both cisgender and transgender women, an already important landmark amid growing transphobia around the ecosystem. It also currently does not provide a space for transgender men who have previously struggled to find a place to compete per testimony collected by Sheep Esports. Okay.
So that last line, I know what he's talking about. So basically, there were teams that were going to get sponsored, but the sponsors pulled out when they found out that players on that specific team or teams had Looney Tunes.
This is a loss to waiting to happen.
This is such a
while the competition is open to both cisgender and transgender women.
Anytime you read those buzzwords, you're like,
that's me. Okay,
it's not this right here.
Now you got to define what do you.
So right here, before you do that, it says right here, it creates a divide that leaves out non-binary individuals. Non-binary people are just a man and a woman. What do you mean?
And other than marginalized genders, there's okay.
What is that?
What does marginalized gender?
This is why Riot Games is garbage. People always call me crazy. This company is bad. This could look at this. We're gonna leave out. Go ahead.
The issue is that now they have to define what a non-binary individual is.
You know, they're not.
But the issue is a lot of people are going to start breaking this shit down.
That's why when you open this kind of Pandora's box, people say define what it means. If you start defining things, you're going to get called a bigot, a racist, a homophobe.
What does marginalized genders mean? You got to define that. What does cisgender mean? What is the definition of a trans woman and trans man? Why can't trans women play but not trans men? What is it? Oh God!
And look at it right here. That thing you had read right here, where it says, "While the competition is open to both cisgender, so men and Riot's opening Riot's. Oh, I hate this company.
They're opening a Pandora's box that they'll never be able to close.
Riot is opening a fucking female WNBA League of Legends ecosystem that is supposed to be just for women that allows dudes.
That's like if the WNBA was like, "Oh, we're gonna have WNBA." But
I do respect the WNBA. I will say that I do respect the WNBA for that, for not giving into allowing men to be in their league. I will respect for that.
I'm there right now. If they allow dudes to join,
you can imagine if LeBron James went up in there and was like, "I'm transgender, I can play."
What if LeBron James joined?
He would be He would be basically Michael Jordan for the league.
Oh, he'd be average 45 points a game. He would literally just
he would win. There's not a doubt in my mind he could win every trophy for the next 20 years.
Have Bronny James and Caitlin Clark be on the same fucking team. Them motherfuckers would be the Boston Celtics of the 60s, just winning. Don't win every championship for the next 10 years. Caitlin Clark would just shoot. Bronny James passing.
Bronny James says, "What is it?" I'm trying to decipher that right now. I'm trying to figure this out.
I'm confused because I'm trying to figure out okay, now you got to define what the fuck is the trans woman with the trans man. What works? It also does not provide space for transgender men.
Well, right here where it says while the competition is open to both cisgender and transgender women, an already important landmark amid growing transphobia around the ecosystem.
What growing transphobia?
Does that mean that? Now, I'm not saying I agree. From what I've gathered when talking with some of these people on Twitter or whatever, it's basically if you don't validate what they're saying. So if I tell you that I think I'm a woman and you don't tell me that I'm a woman, you say I'm a man, that's essentially considered transphobia. So essentially calling out reality is transphobia.
That's like Uncle Ruckus. Like if Uncle Ruckus says he's white and I say you're black, I'm racist.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Uncle Ruckus is black as shit. Like
they just, I will say this right now for anyone watching the show, and I don't care if you watch this show 10 years back when the show gets even more bigger. I am never gonna call a man if a man is gonna call himself a woman, I'm never calling him a woman. And if it happens vice versa, I am never doing this. It is never gonna happen. And if anyone agrees with me, glad you're here. Honestly, men are men and women are women. You can make all of the genetical castrations to yourself all you want. That does not make you a woman, and vice versa. Yeah, I definitely know a lot of women with prostates. Yeah, men can give birth. No, it's not happening here. He doesn't agree with that. I don't agree with that. There's only two genders in my opinion. That's it. I don't know what this bullshit cheap esports is on, where he's like this is a league that is supposed to be for women, but it's open to allowing dudes. And I'm supposed to, and this is the same Riot Games that can barely run a Worlds tournament. I'm supposed to believe they're going to run a tournament full of women? Keep in mind, didn't Riot get sued in California for mistreatment of women?
Yeah.
I'm not saying potentially they did all that stuff, because it's an individual case-by-case basis with how women could, because California people don't know when women can sue for anything, honestly. So maybe the guys weren't as bad as they were made out to be. I don't know. All I know is what I've heard and what I've read over the years. But I agree with Chaz. This is like fucking whoo. I'm saying some of these true people are mentally ill, and you put a man that's mentally ill around a bunch of girls. I'm not gonna say he's gonna do anything, but I expect you to do something because you're mentally deranged. I don't expect mentally deranged people to make sane decisions.
Like you said, this is open the Pandora's box, and this shit ain't gonna never get closed because it's just like what happened with gay marriage. You give them an inch, and motherfuckers took a whole goddamn state. They can't run it.
Yeah, so what the leader of not Peru, fucking hell. Well, one of the leaders in one of the fucking countries.
It's funny how gay people fall for the right for gay marriage and realize marriage ain't shit either. Now gay divorce is over 50%. I'm like, god damn, y'all fall for it and realize marriage ain't shit.
So right here, this ruling also directly conflicts with the rules of the Equal Esports Cup, which currently allows non-binary players to compete. So men and women, whatever. I'm not doing this again. Raising an important question: what would happen if a team with a non-binary player qualified? Why should any of that matter? I hate this scene. Laurel, the fucking wokest, dumb, hottest bitch they have. The women's scene needs this kind of a boost to really grow, especially at a time when some teams were starting to backtrack on their women's projects. Every tournament we see that a lot of young women have talent. Laurel, they don't have talent. I've seen them play. Women are not good at it.
A lot of them have talent. The issue is this: the audience is not there.
G2's team has talent, and they can't even get a viewership. Only G2 team is good.
You know why they can't get a viewership?
Because no one cares. That's the sad part. No one wants to watch this.
No. Back in 2023, people cared. The issue is they got too good, and everyone else around them got worse. This is what happens when your competition is shit. You gotta realize when your competition is shit, you keep getting better, but my opponent keep getting worse. No one's gonna want to watch a complete stomp. That's
and the other
that's
thing
like
I
in the
wanted to
'90s
bring up,
with Michael Jordan. Think about
something
it.
I wanted to bring up to your point about Laurel. So, man, guys, I think Laurel's really attractive. I would put my tongue in her ass, dig her shit
She's
out.
very
But
attractive, but she's very delusional. She's one of the girls that
so if you guys don't know, I think we covered this on the show back in season 14. Team BDS is the guy who made the org, the CEO, had to get removed Carlos style because BDS's CEO said that he thought he said an abortion comment where he said, "I don't think women should get abortions." It was revealed that he had to kind of, take a step back. Basically, he can still, we know how it works with Carlos. He probably still runs G2, but you can't be the face of the org or whatever. We never actually seen the face of Team BDS, but that happened. He made an abortion comment saying he didn't think women should get abortions, and Laurel was clapping her hands on Twitter. It's like, this is why no one wants to talk to these people. You have to basically live in a cult, a different one from the right. Not saying the right is not a cult, or if you believe that. I'm not saying either are a cult.
The right is a cult. But they're only dangerous with guns. But the thing is, you know what they're going to do. The left is much worse
because you can't talk to these people. Because at least with the right, I'll give them credit for this. At least you can have conversations with those people.
The right's not.
If you went to an LEC, if you go to LEC right now and you have a sign that says Troon, that if you say you shouldn't believe kids should be given gender affirming care, you will be kicked out of that studio. There's no doubt in my mind you would be. These people think you need to think lockstep.
Not even that. If you say there's only two genders, you might get kicked out of the studio. It's as simple as that. It's as simple as that.
Yeah.
There's no more than two genders. Boom, kick out.
Have a sign where it says, I don't think kids can consent to puberty blockers. You might get beat up over there. I'm saying, like, these kind of people, look at J.K. Rowling. J.K. Rowling, pretty much a Democrat for a long time, says she didn't think men could be women, and everyone just turned on her.
Still does. She
one disagreement. A single disagreement. Just one.
Yep.
That's not a cult. I don't know what is then.
She pretty much said that, women are this, and it's like people got. Does anyone care about any of it? Yeah, people do, because in a sense, okay.
Oh, sorry about that. My bad.
It's the whole argument of why
they won't. People on Twitter will clap their hands like seals and say they care about this. All the tweet went pretty big. They're like, "Yeah, we can finally get something for women." You guys ain't gotta watch it, and it's gonna fucking.
The issue is no one's watching it now. I watch G2, but the issue with G2, they're just too dominant. They're just too fucking dominant now.
So those girls are pretty darn.
Even when the other players move on to new teams, their teams around them are still shit. It's like G2, like if the league stopped tomorrow, no one would miss it. Because G2's just been too dominant too damn long.
It's crazy how G2 are also dominant in something irrelevant like the women's League of Legends thing. Yep. That's even more crazy. So this last part is Riot has stated that this first year is focused on laying the foundation for a healthy and sustainable ecosystem. This is how... do you know how many times I've heard this company say we're going to lay a healthy foundation and a sustainable... Sorry. Do you know how many times, guys, I've heard this company in many reports say that we're focused on laying a foundation and we're going to try and have a healthy and sustainable ecosystem? Do you know when they recently said that? That was for the LTA. They said that. This exact sentence is exactly the sentence they said for the LTA. How's the LTA going, Riot? You laying a foundation and making a healthy and sustainable ecosystem on the LTA? I'm not supposed to believe you can do it with the women's league that's going to have less viewers? They got rid of the LPL English broadcast because they said it didn't have enough viewership. Only to get rid of that to give us this?
Yep.
We want to develop the LGC alongside the community, watch it grow organically. Yeah, that's what you said about the LTA. That hasn't grown organically at all. That viewership is cratered.
Yeah.
The company shared. Speaking about all this, I'm just saying, people, I don't mind if women have their own WNBA League of Legends scene. My issue is letting men cosplay as women be in that league. Because it's not even just about them being there. It's more like we know that's going to create a disadvantage for the females. We know it. It's like that shouldn't even be debatable. You know?
Yeah.
The reason why men and women are separate in sports is because we're just better at them than sports. They get to be able to compete in their own lane against people of their own skill level. That's why it's pretty much separate, you know? Fucking riot. Anything you want to say about that before we head out? That was our last topic. I want to say the offseason news for Thursday before we do our preview show next week.
The main thing I can say is I'm not surprised that they're kind of doing this shit again. The issue with the women's G2, or I keep saying G2, but it feels like it's just G2.
That's the only org that's relevant for the female league.
That's the only org that anyone gives a fuck about. And that was because they kept
crazy.
rotating.
We were told that Carlos hated women. Guys, do you know who started that for the women there? It was Carlos.
It was Carlos. Yeah. Carlos was the opposite. Carlos shit. I'm surprised Carlos ain't fucking one of them girls. Shit, I would have. I would have fucking a little Asian chick. Yeah, hey man,
Before we go, we have a juicy
to this day, I still say Carlos is fucking Laura. I can't blame him. I would be too.
Fucking Laura, that sounds fucking great. But Laura, she was clapping her hands like a fucking seal. Oh my god! Because she says women's bodies aren't political opinions, something like that. I remember the tweet.
I remember that shit. I read it and I just kept scrolling.
I was like, yes, they are. Like, what are you talking? What do you mean? First of all, yes, they are.
I think you quote tweeted it. It came on my timeline. I saw it.
Yeah.
I was like, what the? I was like, what? See, this is why
because she was happy that, as you said earlier, she was happy the BDS CEO got removed for saying that women shouldn't get abortions. I'm like, okay, Laurel, so you're just okay with murder? Man, why is always the hot girls that are fucking dementally insane?
Exactly. This is why pretty girls shouldn't have opinions. Just shut the fuck up and look pretty. No offense.
I hate it when any of the casters get in politics. I don't want to hear their opinion about if that new Brazilian bitch that I love, my future wifey, when I'm asking.
She's Brazilian. He's Brazilian. She might be the opposite. You gotta realize European women,
right? Isn't she Mexican?
She's Hispanic. I mean, most of them don't have the same shit. You gotta realize. You know who most.
I'm trying to get her on the show. I'm gonna try and get her on.
You know who has most of these opinions is American and European women because that's where most of the mental illness is at.
Wood Smash 10 out of 10.
Oh yeah, GG, yeah.
Wood Smash 10 out of 10. She can speak English too. It's not just she's bilingual.
Oh no, I knew she could speak English.
Don't tell.
I knew that.
You can't be making pictures like this and not. Oh my god! God damn it! Fucking hell! Let me lick your ass a few times, just a few times. I want to see what it tastes like.
You're a wild motherfucker, man.
So there's a wild rumor going on right now. Before we go, crazy one, but you could believe it based off of what's happened with Fnatic. The rumor is that Razork is out of Fnatic. That's the rumor going around right now.
I wouldn't be the person I would kick off the team, but I understand.
It's a rumor right now. I mean, it's really weird because the rumor, a lot of people are speculating he's going to go to G2. I don't think G2 would get rid of Skewmon right now in the middle of the season.
I would think it'd be the end of the year. This is what I think. I think they would if they could.
If they would make the decision, you would. If you had the option of doing it.
I'd rather leave the doesn't go to G2 what the other team he goes to.
It's always SK. They always need junglers.
Nah.
I'll try and see where I found that room because it was circulating pretty hard. Razork out of Fnatic. Interesting. I mean, if that's not the player that I would get rid of right now.
Humanoid is the player I'm getting rid of. Him or Oscar Anderson.
Yeah,
I'll probably get rid of Oscar Anderson first.
Oscar Anderson would probably need to go first. He's probably the cheapest player. That's the problem.
Yeah, if you can't move the contract, I would probably get rid of. If you can't move the contract, I move Oscar Anderson. If you move the contract, I get rid of Humanoid. Rather might be the second to last player I released besides Upset. If I could remove Mickey X, I would. I like Mickey X, but he ain't it, man. He kind of cooks.
You know what's crazy is I don't even think he's cooked. what if at one point he goes back to G2 and then he feels a little slighted because they got rid of him. He felt like that they kind of scapegoated him.
I
for
think
their
the way
problems.
they got rid of him is why Yike felt the way he felt. 2 years, you're not much. Seeing like Yike is Yike and Caps are about the same age.
Yeah.
It's like I think it's the way you got rid of them. If you tell me I get fired before Worlds even starts, I'm not gonna be in the mental shape. I won't be thinking I'm no longer on the team while I'm still on the team. I won't be intic. I'm not gonna play them. If someone tells you you got fired a month before you get your athlete fired, you think you gonna be in the right mental state? Nope. I'll be fucked up the whole time.
It's also worse because they heard it from someone else and not even from you. You know?
Yeah.
It's like that thing where like you heard you're fired over Twitter, like everyone else did.
Man, you heard it from fucking Wooloo of all people. That little.
So this is where I saw it from. It has been circulating. I'm not saying it's real. Just saying it's a grain of salt. Said logged off for a bit, and I see rumors of Razork to G2. No way this happens, right? Says I won't lie. If Razork goes to G2 with a buyout of like $1 million, get rid of Humanoid as well as import mid jungle or tryout to buy like Vladdy or Yike.
Nope, I want that no. I would not buy them two niggas out. Definitely Vladdy.
I hate Carmine Core. He's like the players ain't worth the buyout.
No. Okay, I don't like Carmine. I don't like Carmine Core fiends. When it comes to Valorant, it makes more sense because Valorant they've had more stake in it. They have actually proven themselves.
What's up, buddy?
What's up? The issue is this with Carmine Corp is like they weren't a good team. They got lucky in spring. They showed us them motherfuckers peaked. When a team knows how to counter them and realize they're predictable, I want to be with the cow. Okay.
I don't know what the cow image is supposed to be for. Maybe it's because a cow's hard to move, so it's gonna be a monster buyout. There's no way G2 drop Skewmond right now for him.
Nah.
I mean, to be fair, originally when they first started as an org, they got rid of Emperor and Hybrid. They found out that they were being replaced for Zen and Mythy. I'm not saying that was a long time ago. I don't know. Also, problem with Razork is Razork has this thing that Cloud9 has as an org. It's great. Like Razork can put you in a winning position and then just throw a game away. Razork literally is what Cloud9 is as a person.
Yeah.
Like G2 already kind of have that right now. Like, is G2's problem really jungle issues? I would argue, like, even if that, let's say hypothetically that wasn't on the table, that they're thinking about getting rid of Skewmon for Razork. Let's say there was. I don't think Skewmon's the problem with G2 though.
No.
I think he's been fine. I don't think he's been bad. I think he's
G2 problem is top lane, mid lane, and support.
Like, I feel like Skewmon has not played well when it matters, but he's not been the reason they've been bad at all. He's been playing fine.
G2 problem is they be driving some bullshit. They be kind of work these weird ass comps and they get countered. G2's not predictable. They're unpredictable, but all this shit gets discounted. They're predictable in the way they're going to draft, but they're not predictable in the way they're going to play.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Also, G2 looks bad when Caps is not firing on all cylinders. I feel like both winter and spring.
Caps hasn't been firing on all cylinders since like last summer.
Yeah, he's not been playing that good since last summer. He's been
even with that was Humanoid just throwing every fucking game. And they had Noah Jun out there trying to get his ADC to get some confidence. Noah having no confidence. Oscar was just getting killed goddamn left and right. Holy. No wonder Razork ain't come and fucking gank his top lane.
That's the problem.
Rather be down 2,000 gold at 20 minutes. You're like, how the fuck I'm about to work with that? When Oscar is just
both
constantly
Humanoid
dead.
and Razork are on the same team. You can't win with both of them. To be fair, Fnatic couldn't win with one of them, if we're being honest here. Like, I just don't think he's going to G2. There's no way they sack Skewmon right now for Razork. Even though Razork probably has a higher ceiling, doesn't matter because Razork throws so many games. Did he only throw games when he was with Humanoid? Well, we wouldn't know that unless he plays for another team. But I don't think it's going to change, honestly. I don't think the problem for G2 right now is jungle. The problem with G2 is Broken Blade is underperforming. Caps hasn't been playing like Caps since 2024 summer. And you have a whole ass LeBron in the bot lane. So that's why. That's G2's problems. But yeah, that's pretty much it. We're going to do the off-season news and our MSI preview next Thursday. Same time, I'll be doing the last LEC season episode with Warren on Tuesday. So you have 2 episodes in. We're in the Cloud9 podcast again on Saturday to cover the games that have happened. So that's going to be fun too.
Yep.
Good Lord. Nope. I didn't agree with this at all. Good Lord. You haven't seen what Chaz looks like. Oh my God.
She's seen it before.
Oh, really? Huh. She that whole cock out. God damn. So, anything you want to... what do I want to say? Fucking hell. Any way you want to throat goat Lennon? I'm just kidding. Fucking hell.
Yeah,
So,
wow,
anything you want to bring up before we head out? Anything you're working on? You want to let people know about?
Nah, I'm just living my life.
No more Pokemon market watches?
Nah, I had one that came out, but they're too unreliable now because the market's dropping. Like I have to literally drop it within an hour. It's like the issue with them. It's unlike Yu-Gi-Oh, where you can sit on it for a bit. Nah, like I'm just trying to rediscover what my channel needs to be for this community. Cause I don't want to put shit out there and then be like, okay, this shit's not good or this shit's kind of dry.
Damn, this girl looking kind of... she's a little... I hate her voice. There's a girl that I keep seeing on Facebook Reels. I hate her. She does that voice where it's like, I gotta hate that. When girls do that, it's so cringe. Then she has a video of her doing squats. Good Lord. Dudes out here are thirsty. L's. Ugh. So... yeah, as you guys know for myself, tomorrow we have the MSK show with me and Lunchbox Warren. We got some juicy topics to go over. We're talking like so juicy your mouth is watery after you lick some fucking clean vagina and you fucking rub her clitoris to make her fucking come all over your face. Talking that level of juicy the topics we have for tomorrow.
You never stuck a girl's clit before?
What the heck? I'll throw her out a window if she touches me. She going out the window. That's what's happening.
Yeah, you wild.
Then Saturday, I have a one-on-one with the somewhat
not nice dude, Sparkle. Not Neeson without the shirt on.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
I gotta see what the boobs look like. I gotta,
So tomorrow, Friday, the MSK show. Saturday, I have an MSK show with someone, but I'll probably play League if I'm not too tired. Sunday, MSK show. I had to move John Longbox's episode to Sunday, and then Monday we just start up again. So you guys will see Laps Comic Fan again. He's been having some health issues, but he'll be back. Or will he be black? That's something we have to also think about too. Jokes aside, he is black from the waist down. He might be my dad. But yeah, thank you guys for checking out this episode of the Cloud9 podcast. We're now at the halfway point of the year. MSI 2025 is upon us. So we'll see who wins MSI, and we'll be giving a preview of the show. Preview of MSI.
I already know.
On Thursday.
Like, I already know who my two teams are going to be in the finals.
Yep, you're picking Cloud9. They're not even there. You're picking FlyQuest and G2.
Nope, I'm picking Genji and T1.
So FlyQuest and G2.
Yeah, FlyQuest and Genji in the finals.
What would you? The only reason why I want FlyQuest to battle Genji again is because I want to show people, hey, them playing that way that day was just them playing that way that day. They are going to clobber you most of the time. Motherfuckers are bragging about a series they didn't even win. Hey, I almost beat you.
It was the way they did it. It was the surprise factor.
Yeah. Damn, this girl looking all kind of bad. I'm trying to put my fucking tongue in that.
It's like when I played that best of 5 where I played 5 different decks and I ended up winning. And then the guy said, "Oh, I almost beat you." It was like, I beat you in a mirror match with the deck that your favorite was. I'm not saying I'm not. It's like you look at it, you're like,
we all know Genji's better than FlyQuest. Like I said, anybody could punch up any day.
Yeah.
And Genji was like, all right, cool. They're down 2-1.
But every game that FlyQuest lost was very, very
absolute
telling.
stomps. It was like, think about it. That game 3, Genji, wipes off the blood off their mouth. They're like, oh, you're taking it seriously now. Okay, cool. Game 4, curve stomped the fuck out of them. Didn't matter. It didn't. FlyQuest brought out all the good shit. Didn't matter. Genji was like, oh, okay, cool. Just mirror force, magic cylinder, mirror force, magic cylinder. Oh, ring of destruction. Game 5. That's what it was. Everything that FlyQuest sent and Genji put it right back in their face. In Game 5, it was slightly closer. Not really.
Because Busio was like, Cloud9 play the most standard League of Legends, but we're going to be a team that'll have some surprises. What is FlyQuest's surprises? Bwipo doing random shit? That's the surprise?
FlyQuest can have surprises and still get 3-0. Like, you got to realize surprises don't mean shit if a team's ready for you. Mm-hmm. If a team knows how to take your surprise and throw it right back in your face, guess what? It's not a surprise.
Also, I don't know if FlyQuest is going to be able to face off against these teams as well as he did last time around.
If I swear what a Busio surprise is, I'm going to pick Seraphine support.
That's a surprise.
I swear.
Pick Seraphine support.
If I see this motherfucker pull out a Zero support, it goes 07 on it. 07 in the chat just for Busio for getting clapped. Like,
that's why we call him Boostio.
Yeah, Boostio. Whip our looking like Fat Ben Savage from Boy Meets World. Oh, look at this.
So, yep. FlyQuest win the LTA 2025 North Split 2. T1 defeated Hanwha Life. LCK format is unbelievably bad. Riot's retarded.
At the end of the day, LCK runs through Genji and T1. They're the two motherfucking guys.
That's the thing. At the end of the day, what was that thing that Thanos said in Infinity War? All things balanced as they should be, something like that.
Yeah, it's
all roads lead back to Genji and T1.
And Genji might be the best team, but all roads lead through T1. It was like,
are T1 just the main character of League of
Legends? It doesn't matter if T1. It doesn't matter if T1 goes 0-4 versus Genji and Hanwha Life. When it mattered the most, Hanwha Life would choke. It disappeared. And that's what he did.
That's what we call it, free nut.
Oh, Hanwha Life is 2 up on Genji. They're going to sweep Genji. And then Toby gets up like, you sure about that? And then I think Toby and Fake are the protagonists of the LTK. Like, Toby's always getting used to getting beat up. And then he gets like, and then you say something slick, you're like,
who's the LCK's bitch? Isn't that KT?
No, that's
DNF. That's DNF. Down to fuck right there.
You beat me to it. I said the down to game fuck.
DTF. That's not DNF. That's DTF. Fucking hell. Wait, before we go. What was their record? I need to see their record. It was something abysmal too.
Oh, it was like 1-17.
No way, really?
Yeah, it was 1-17.
That's fucking disgusting.
And they only won that one game because the team fell asleep. It was 1-17.
Also, you guys know I love Berserker, but people want to act like he was on T1. No, guys, he was on T1
Academy.
Challenger.
So
that's a third. What that means when teams say that's a third team. That's an actual amateur team. It's not even actually an academy team. He wasn't actually on the academy team. They had a Smash on the academy team.
Yeah, it was.
That's like he's debatably not even in the org at that point. You're like, okay, so DNF went 1-4 and went 4-9. Damn, fuck.
Group stage, yep.
Yeah, that was spring. They went 1-4 in spring, unless you're going by game record. Then in the round 2, right here. This is spring. Then they went 1-17. They went 8-35. God damn. Genji went 36-5.
And DNF went 8-35. T1 was 25-17. It was a lot closer. It was DNF lost six straight. JG won 18 straight.
I just won every game. 18
plus
wins.
31 games. They won 88% of their games. Out
because think about it, if they would have went 2-1 versus everybody, I think they would have been like 70%. But they 2-0'd a shit ton of teams, and they were 80 out of the possible 41 games they played. They won 88% of the games.
It's ridiculous. And that's what 36-5. God damn. One of those Homolife got one, T1 got one, DK got one.
No. T1 didn't get one. T1 got 2-0.
No. The first part of the split. Remember, they had that really close best of 3. It went 2-1. T1 got one of the games in the series.
Is it? I thought
it was the one where Chovy did the triple kill with Victor. Remember? It was
yes. Yep. Game 3.
Homolife got one. I know KT. So like essentially all these guys got
D
one.
Plus. It was D. I think it was D Plus got one.
Yeah, KT could be D plus KT T1 Homolife. I think yeah.
It
was not all these guys got a game off of them, but they went 36-5. That's crazy. Yeah. So yeah, was glad to have Chaz back after he went on vacation. Good Lord, I miss my black man. I'm gonna give you a hug.
Yeah, we'll give you a hug too, man.
Fuck you, bastard! Trying to take my girls. Oh, he's here to take my bitches.
Hey, ain't bitches. Okay. Maybe
Lennon's a retarded, stupid bitch, right? Let's make sure I preface that. Carla's a green card immigrant that should be deported.
No, I ain't fucking Carla. That's all you. You can have Carla.
No one fucks Carla. She puts it in. She fucks you.
Yeah, that's why she was looking for you and James. She was like,
good Lord. So
you guys come over. She'll give you, some food or some oil. I'm like, nigga, what?
So just to let you guys know, I am working on putting out a lot more pre-recorded content on this channel. The content's done. I've been working all day editing it, putting it up. I just have to put the thumbnails on the videos and get them ready for you guys. The comic book channel has plenty of content that's going to be coming out. That's already done. And I'm going to work on I have to rename my podcast name on Spotify. Then I'm going to get the rest of the episodes of the Cloud9 podcast and the Iron Man podcast uploaded. Then I'm going to upload the episodes of the MSK show. So I'm working on getting also the pre-recorded content on this channel uploaded to Rumble as well as my comic book channel as well. So I got a lot of stuff I'm working on. I'm glad you guys are here. But if you guys are just watching this episode if you guys are just watching the Cloud9 podcast, we'll see you guys back on Tuesday with me and Warren. We're going to do the final episode for the LEC. Then you guys will see me and Chaz here on Thursday for a preview of MSI 2025. And we'll be covering the offseason news that have happened. So